That's right. It's the La Femme Film Festival 2020. And joining me right now is one of the many filmmakers that we have just doing their thing. And we've got with us Jean Marie Spicuzza. Did I get the last name right?
You sure did.
Awesome. But this is easy. Night Rain, which I understand is not only a feature, but where an actress is hired by her stalker to make a low-budget period movie about a famous unsolved Los Angeles murder. What?
But she and her company of young indie filmmakers soon discover themselves to be the real subjects of the terror. They are unwittingly hired by their stalker, actually. And the famous unsolved Los Angeles murder is none other than Elizabeth Short's untimely death, also known as the Black Dahlia murder.
Okay, well, look, agree to disagree. I feel like this is more of like a real life story that we all got to be careful about in the business. Is that right?
Yes. Yes, it is. It serves as sort of a handbook to those of us who are working in film.
Because nobody has stalker written on their forehead nowadays. You got to look at the indicators of what could cause a stalking situation, right?
That's right. That's right. And sometimes it can come upon you very unexpectedly. For example, in Night Rain, the trigger for this stalker to really take action is kind of almost happenstance, that something happens very traumatic in his life. It just so happens to happen when this actress producer rejects his screenplay. So it's sort of like this colliding of events. And unfortunately, people who tend to be unbalanced tend to make the wrong assumptions or leaps in judgment, as we know, unfortunately.
I've had my own share. I know what you're talking. This is my life. I could give you stories on this. I'm not. I got to be careful because they might be watching. But look, the reality is, look. Yeah, you got one very good lead. You got to talk about him because he's pretty amazing. I happen to know him. He's a fantastic guy in front of the camera and even behind, but more in front. I'm talking about Adam Lesser over there. Adam, I understand, is one of the many characters in this film, right?
Yes, he's one of the leads. He's one of the leads. There are. It's myself, Adam, Clarissa Thebault, Thessa Malo, and Mattia Chico, and these indie filmmakers basically at a certain point become sequestered. So it's very apropos in terms of timing. Adam was one of the first actors I hired, and I actually still have the audition that he gave me. And when you see the audition, you can utterly see why he was chosen. He embodied the role. In independent film, I think especially, you are not so much looking to fit an actor in a slot as you are trying to find the character inside of that actor, that they'll be able to bring that forward. And Adam did it in spades. He was actually coached as well by Sean Rose of Grok Acting Studios, who I've worked with as well. And amazing talent, I have to say, amazing talent.
I'm so glad you brought that up because sometimes, look, we talk about filmmaking, right, a lot on this particular broadcast, but sometimes the actors need a little bit of what I call a soft push in the right direction. And coaching for a particular film project, was that your idea, his idea, or both of your ideas?
It was his idea, but I strongly encourage it. I do it myself.
Smart.
I don't want to, obviously the director has a vision carries that vision, wants to bring that vision forward
right
through the actors, the embodiment of the story, essentially. And you don't want to interfere with that process. But I think the coach, who kind of plays the role almost like a second assistant director, where they can help see the particulars of that actor and guide that actor through the character. And that is story. That's just as much a story as the locations, the scenarios, the situations, the dialogue, and everything else. It really brings to life that vision, I think.
Well, Jean, unfortunately, we've run out of time, but I can't wait to check this out. I know many people are wanting to go ahead and get the ticket to watch it. I understand there's a all-inclusive version where you can also get like people like yourself that kind of educate others, right? And I understand, is there going to be a Q&A on this?
There sure is. I'm participating. Deborah Galels is moderating. Adam's going to be there. One of our young actors, Amaya, whose name means night rain, is going to be there.
Oh.
She was the inspiration for the title.
Even better.
As well as one of our composers, Guy Hoffman of Violent Femmes, Bodine's fame, and the celebrated LA Times writer-editor, Larry Harnish, who is actually the foremost expert on the Black Dahlia murder and the only member of the media the family will speak to. So it's a pretty exciting opportunity to find out things that you never might have known about filmmaking, about the Black Dahlia murder, about the details behind the real person known as Elizabeth Short. And it's just, I think it's a really exciting opportunity.
Well, I'm going to lend you my name. It's called An Exalted One. I think that's a great title. Aaron means exalted one. So there's your next film. All right.
I love that. I love it.
And if I could be in it and I could play opposite of Adam, even better. All right. Thank you very much for spending time with us here on La Femme Film Festival 2020. We appreciate you. Thank you for adding your great film to the great lineup.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you so much. Great job.
All right. We'll be right back right after this. Stay tuned. Joining us right now, all the way from around the world in all different locations. One which is like, I hope you're not driving. We got Urania del Orbe, Juliana Slim. I'm going to let you guys introduce yourself. I'm going to mess up the name.
Okay, I'm Urania del Orbe.
My name is Juliana Sleme.
I'm Mare Rubiera.
Okay, awesome. Let's talk about this film because it's kind of making me go send shivers down my spine. La Santera. What does that mean for those that don't, kind of know the whole thing that's out there called, energy?
Okay, well, La Santera is typical. Well, typically, a Santera is kind of like a Latino witch or a Afro-Caribbean witch.
I don't judge. I think we lost her.
So that's kind of like the influence. I don't understand. Okay, here we go. I don't know what happened. All right, and
you're driving. That's what happened. Like, stay in one place.
Right.
Okay, Juliana, I'm going to throw it over to you, okay? Because you look very sedentary there. Juliana, can you chime in for Yaradia? We have a bad connection with her.
Yeah, of course. So La Santera, like she was saying, it's like a Spanish, a Latin, African American, Caribbean version of a witch, and it is based on santos and like all of these. It's not really gods, but santos that we pray to, that we believe in, and that we basically make offerings to throughout the year and all of this. And the story is about a family that is a Santera family, and it has a little bit of I don't know if fantasy. Also, it's kind of thrilling, and there's a little bit of suspense, and there's a lot going on. Yeah.
Well, I can imagine because the premise is to save somebody from a predator. I'd be like, hey, can you help me? Right? How bad was this predator in the film? Ale, what about you?
Hi, I'm the cinematographer of the project. And yeah, as Juliana and Gerania were saying, it's an interesting story. I'm Mexican. So for me, it was really great to have that opportunity because somehow being Mexican allows me to, I mean, Latin American allows me to understand better and deeply. So that way I can think about lighting or framing wise, like having the background, I think was something interesting for me, you know? So yeah.
Well, I think Yarania is like, I don't think anybody told her it's virtual, so she doesn't have to rush to the movie theater just yet. But really quick, since you're driving and doing this great film, put this. What was it like putting all this team together? Because this team's pretty amazing, I could tell.
Whoa, no, it's amazing team. It was magical. I will tell you this, because even the casting is magical. I did not find Juliana till like the last casting. It was like we did 5 castings, and when she walked in the door, it was like 5 minutes to the close of the actual audition, and I was like, oh my God, I'm never find her. And she walked in, and that was it. You know, I immediately from the connection in the room to her connection to the material and what she brought, it was just magical. It really was. Even shooting, oh my God, the whole experience was magical.
Oh yeah, speaking of magical, that's a great word to describe this film. I'm going to give you guys, because since we've run out of time, unfortunately, each a verb if you want to use it based on how you're going to feel once you watch this particular project.
Oh, ecstatic.
I like that. That's pretty good. Ale?
Charmed.
Oh, thrilled, I think.
Thrilled. Oh, I love those. Ecstatic, charmed, and thrilled. All right. Well, I know it's all available at the Femme Film Festival. Thanks to our friends at sia.live, where you get to see all of your great progress. No, I don't know, but I'm trying there. I'm reaching. All right. Great job. Thank you, each and every one of you, for spending time with us. Yarania, stay in one place, for crying out loud. Seriously. Just stop moving. Stop moving. All right. Just for 5 minutes. That's all we need. All right. Bye-bye, everybody. We'll be right back with more of the La Femme Film Festival 2020 right after this. Joining me right now is Megan Lee and Ami Turunchik. I apologize for the name, but you know what? We're all around the world. Where are you guys tuning in from, by the way? Where are you staying?
LA.
Okay.
We're in Los Angeles.
Well, you know what? Stay safe over there. Okay. It's run amok. But let's talk about your project here, the short time hopping series about the unassailable best friendship between 2 women, Alex and Olive. No matter what is where it's at. Give me the 411 on this. How difficult was this to put together?
It wasn't difficult, but we both wore a lot of hats on this. So that was probably the most difficult we had. It's actually a web series. It's a 12-part web series.
Ooh, nice.
And each episode has a theme. And in the first half of every episode, it happens in 2008. So you see these 2 women, Alex and Olive, in their 20s, dealing with whatever the theme of the episode is. And then you see them 10 years later in their 30s, deal with a very similar theme, but in a very different way. Because, you know, from your 20s to 30s is like wackadoo, totally different. But you see these women grow as individuals over the course of 10 years. You see their friendship evolve, and they're always there for each other. No matter what.
Even better. Those are the best type of friends, no matter come thick and thin. Look, obviously a lot of people watching for the very first time the La Femme Film Festival. Have either of you done this before?
La Femme?
Correct.
It's our first time. We're so excited to be part of it. The idea of by women and for women really is in our wheelhouse. So we're pretty excited to be part.
Well, and I'm glad to hear. Look, you both are very talented in your own right. I don't think a lot of people understand what it means when you take the mantle literally, or you make the mantle from scratch. What are some things that you've learned in the process of doing this? Because, you know, a web series sounds like it's easy, but it's the same type of work you would put into a feature film, or is it?
Yes, I mean, although often with shorter time frames and a smaller budget, and
Right.
like Megan said, we co-produced and co-created, and then we both acted in it as well, and I directed it. So we were kept very busy. But I think we learned a lot on the filmmaking perspective, but also about our subject, friendship. And we went into it like, let's write a story about our best friendship and how it's lasted through these years. And we discovered we still have because working together has its own set of challenges. So we've discovered there's still more to grow and learn in our friendship. So personally and professionally, I feel like we had a lot of growth.
Yeah, and Megan, you know, I got a question for you. I guess the feeling's the same because the love is being spread all throughout, but it wasn't just you two, right?
Oh no, there's a couple male roles who play boyfriends and then husbands, and then the crew. We had a strong female crew in our sound, our editor, our composer. So yeah, a lot of other people behind the scenes for sure.
Well, it takes a village to make a web series or just a series. I just like to say a web, because everything seems to be a web now, right? Like everything's on the internet, right?
That's true.
Pre-COVID-19, I don't think people wanted to watch so much streaming content as they do now. How cool is that to be able to be on a platform where you can still experience it and still at least, not throw caution to the wind, if you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's exciting, and it's a chance for people to get to see it in a new way, which is very cool.
All right. So for those that are on the fence to get a ticket to any one of these cool films, I imagine you two and your whole entire team are going to at least want to check out some of the great panels or the great other films other than just your own. Although, shout out to yours. Do you know what day it is?
Yep, it's next Friday, October 16th. We're doing a live Q&A with a moderator at 7 p.m. Pacific. So we're pretty excited about that. Yeah, we're also very excited to check out all the other talented filmmakers and the panels.
This today has been like the greatest tease. Like it's been so fun to watch everybody. I'm like, what's this about? I want to know. These people seem awesome, but I want to watch. So this is great. Thank you for having us.
No, thank you for being part of it. Thank you for lending your talent to the big screen and or the little screen. Because even though it's a web event, you can watch it on the big screen, right?
Oh yeah, however big your TV gets.
Yeah,
I got a surround sound in my head. It's called earphones. Okay, people.
Yeah.
I appreciate you both. Thank you so very much for spending time with us. Again, go check it out. La Femme Film Festival. Come on. They probably got more series in their heads that they're just waiting to. Right?
Oh my God.
I know it.
We're waiting.
Yeah, well, don't vomit it out. Speak it into the universe. No vomiting.
It's all vomit. It's all vomit.
No, it's no. All right, take me off this thing, Adam.
Thanks, Aaron.
Bye.
Thanks, Aaron.
We'll be right- Joining us right now is Miranda Manziano. And Miranda, I got one question for you. I think I need some information on what is a dominatrix. I have no idea.
What is a dominatrix? It's someone that usually submissives go to, I guess, to submit, and it's someone, usually a woman, who is in a position of power in that session, and they basically plan out a whole session around whatever the submissive's kinks are and whatever they want to do.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even look that up in the dictionary. I had no idea. I'm just kidding. No, I do know. I don't think I'd be good on the receiving end, but the film talk to me about this film and why this particular subject happens to be included in your particular film. What made you want to do and include that?
Well, it's my thesis film for undergrad, and I wanted to do something really personal. So in the film, it's about a woman who is sexually assaulted and seeks out a dominatrix in an attempt to heal from that assault. So like I myself have been assaulted, and this process has been very therapeutic for me. And I wanted to do a story that was like not stereotypical and also like a different form of therapy. So that's why I included BDSM.
Miranda, I'm so glad you talk about this because I'm not gonna lie. I've never thought of I've always thought like jujitsu or another type of martial art would be a really good like self-empowering thing for somebody that has been assaulted in this way.
Right.
I'm gonna be honest. I never even considered saying maybe you should go check out what a dominatrix is to be able to get back your power. But can you kind of speak on that since I'm on the outside looking in, what your current experience is with that and why you wanted to especially feature that as an alternative version to help a woman find her strength and get control of that strength?
Well, I actually saw out a professional dominatrix, Nina DeVille, who acted in it as Valor. And through her, I learned so much about the community and what exactly she does. And how she describes it is that like going to see her and having multiple sessions with her is like a journey. And so through this journey, specifically in the film, Valentina is, like you said, able to take her power back, especially after having it I guess taken from her in such a violent way. Right. And through that, she realizes that, you know, she doesn't have to self-blame herself for what happened to her, and Valor is able to say that it wasn't her fault, and they get to re-explore intimacy, which is really important for someone who goes through that.
Again, Miranda, I appreciate your being very raw on this. So many people oftentimes like to talk in the third person, including myself. There's some things I don't like to, throw out there. But since you are being raw right now, you are experiencing something that unfortunately a lot of people around the world and even third world countries, it's almost accepted. It's really terrible. I just saw something coming from India, and this is a huge topic of the mistreatment of women. And I say to each and every man out there and or person wanting to seek harm, you know what? You guys need to get a life, because the fact that you would put somebody else in harm's way, ridiculous, stupid, and idiotic. But what's your message to women out there who have been suffering silently?
That you're not alone, and that it's going to be a hard journey of healing, but that it's a hopeful one, and just that you're not alone and it wasn't your fault.
I think that's the biggest one to take away from this. But hey, dominatrix, again, no judgment. I've never been there, never done that. But for those that want to check out your film and your where can they go? Online, La Femme Film Festival 2020?
Yeah.
VSC Alive?
Yes, exactly. The 15th through the 18th. Yeah. I think we're just we're not doing a Q&A, but I think you can watch it at any time on demand if you pay for the pass. So
even better. Okay, so I'm going to go check that out. Why not? What? I need a different perspective. I say to everybody, get outside of your bubble, get outside of your way. Don't let things that you think are one thing. In fact, just last question before we let you go. Is there anything that maybe you thought going in that you learned coming out of that situation as far as, learning what it's like to be a dominatrix? Just saying.
Something that I learned from it?
Or something that you had a preconceived idea, but then you realize, oh, it's not like that at all.
Oh, definitely. I think a lot of people view DOMs as being man haters and really violent. And in reality, they are so consensual and they listen to you, and they're not violent, and they're very empathetic. So they're the most caring individuals out there, I think. So
you know what? You've helped enlighten me and enlighten all of us, I believe. Okay, so thank you very much for spending time with us, Miranda Manziano. Again, go check out her film right there, Valor. Did I get that right?
Thank you so much. Yes.
Valor. Check it out.
Thank you so much.
Joining me right now is Sophie Sartain. Sophie, look, Bird Dog Nation talks about a very serious subject, ALS. What was the reason for introducing this into this particular film? Is it a personal tragedy that you know about?
Actually, no, it's one of our, the film is really about activism, and a lot of activists who in 2018 fought to protect the Affordable Care Act. It's a documentary, and one of our main characters is Adi Barkan, who is an activist with ALS. So he spoke at the Democratic Convention recently. He's kind of a big figure out there. So he's one of the anchor characters of the film. Very inspirational guy. And it's really about a group of activists who, following them in 2018 through the midterm election. And Aaron, I don't know if you know it, but we seem to be going through another election right now. So
wait, what? No way. Where is this happening? No.
Yeah.
Really? No.
It's a little bit in the news these days.
Just a little. I can't get away from it. Look, look, democracy means something to the majority of people. And then I find that like people with their rhetoric kind of don't believe in a democracy, if you know what I mean. But, you know, for your own personal, how can I put it? You know, it's such a big topic to be able to put a documentary among documentaries that talk about this very theme. At the end of the day, what is it you'd like for people to really appreciate, but especially about that word, democracy?
Well, that's a big question. I think what the film shows is that when you show up and do little things and work together, you can make change. Because the activists that I follow, their goal was to flip the House in 2018, and they worked together. It was a lot of, you know, just boots on the ground activism. So a lot of it's not very glamorous. It's just showing up. And and you can see as you watch the film that it paid off. It paid off in 2018. So they're out there again now. They're badass. They're, you know, they just keep fighting. So
you almost have to be a badass. Correct me if I'm wrong. There are so many bullies and I'm going to throw this out there. Bullies on both sides. How do you become an activist without becoming a bully to the point where it's going to cause harm to somebody else? Because I think some people on both sides of this camp need a little bit more coaching on what it means to be an activist. And again, not throw your punches literally. I mean, with words is one thing, but you know, you get where I'm going with this?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, there's a lot of different, I mean, everyone's different and everyone can do their part in a different way. I mean, for some people, it is being that out front, you know, person at the front of the protests, and that's important. But I think a lot of times it's talking to your family members. There's a lot of things going on right now called relational organizing. That's, you know, texting your uncle in Colorado and saying, hey, are you registered to vote? I mean, there's lots of ways of doing it. Lots of ways to have civil conversations and really listen to each other and learn from each other. So, I mean, I think it can present in all different kinds of ways.
I'm not going to lie. I know a lot of activists and none of them are like, what do I call it? They just don't throw caution to the wind and they might throw verbal punches, which I'm all for. You know, there's some people, presidents that need a little verbal punching back. You know what I mean? I would use him as a punching bag verbally, but never physically. You understand what I'm saying? There's a fine line that I think our nation needs to remember about democracy and what it means for us as a nation. I feel we've gotten so far on either side of the table versus like, hey, let's all come back to the table. And sometimes good activists could be on either side of the table. Am I wrong or right?
Absolutely. And a lot of what my activists, the term bird dogging is a lot about storytelling. So it's sort of like, it's saying, this is my experience. This is what happened to me. And there's something very universal about that. You know, people struggling with health issues, you know, those kinds of things. That's something that anyone can relate to on any side. And it's basically using those personal stories to say to our elected leaders, hey, what you do in Washington, it affects me. And this is why.
More so than any other country. In fact, you're supposed to be the leader of the free world. Why don't you make a free world be an amazing leader for the rest of the world? That's what I always say, but nobody listens to me. Seriously. All right. Look, Sophie, thank you very much for putting this project together. Again, if you want to go get tickets, look for it. It is on the SIA Live platform. We'll put a link attached to this video. Bird Dog Nation is where it's at. Sophie Sartain, thank you for joining me and the other filmmakers on this great virtual day event around the world. Thank you.
Thanks, Aaron.
Joining me right now is Julia Fisher-Farbin. Julia, I understand your script needs to be made into something. Audrey's Children, talking about the untold story of legendary oncologist and co-founder of Ronald McDonald House Charities, Dr. Audrey Evans. I'm not going to lie, I don't know that name, but I think I want to.
Well, thank you, Aaron, and thank you so much for having me. I'm shocked nobody else has told this story, and I want to give a shout out to Audrey, who's watching right now. So hello, Audrey. Hope we do a good job today. So as you mentioned, my script is based on the incredible Dr. Audrey Evans, who is not only a revolutionary oncologist, but co-founded the Ronald McDonald House Charities. And the script takes place in 1970 when she arrives at Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. And unfortunately, at that time, mostly all children with cancer die. And Audrey, like many others, make it her mission to change it, and she doesn't let anything stand in her way. So throughout the course of the film, she creates a staging system that specializes care, and spoiler alert, it has since decreased mortality rates by 50% or more.
Wow.
Yes, for a particular cancer, neuroblastoma.
Wow.
And simultaneously, while she's curing cancer, which is, just a casual day, she also
in her life, right?
In her life, I know.
Yeah.
I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah, like she's probably like, ugh. Do I have to do? Is there anything else I can do as well? Right? I'm sure she's always busy.
Always. And so she also realized that in order to care for the patient, you also have to care for the whole family. So she decided to create a home away from home for families to stay, which has since evolved into the Ronald McDonald House Charities, which is now in 365 plus locations and has served 8 million families. And so mind you, she did this in 1970 when there were nearly no female doctors. And she was, at the time, women had to get men to co-sign on a credit card. So imagine what that was like to then do all these other amazing things. And let me tell you, Audrey did and still does march to the beat of her own drum. So she is not a quiet woman, and that's what makes her an amazing person and an amazing character to follow.
Neither should she be. Any guy that makes you like, go, hey, so I need to sign on that. Look, I'm the first proponent against men that act stupid, if you know what I mean. Yeah. And I love the women that have to. Let's face it, okay? Let me just stop for a minute and take off my broadcasting hat and put on my human hat. We've gone through a time with slavery to begin with, right? Women have had to fight so much so they understand what that's like, probably more than any other man out there. And I would venture to say this doctor as well not only has a voice, we need to get her voice in on this broadcast at some point. Is she going to be in the Q&A?
Well, so it's just a script right now.
So what? We need to do this. I'm going to talk to Leslie. Hold on. Okay. Leslie, we got to make this happen. Seriously. I just want a Q&A on this script. Look, it needs to be made. What do we need to do to get it made?
Well, thank you for asking that. So right now, as you mentioned, it's in the script process. I'm now fundraising, speaking with producers. This movie will absolutely get made because I believe in the story with all of my heart. And like you said, we all need role models, particularly female role models like Audrey, because I really do believe if you can see it, you can be it. And I know that sounds so corny, but I just feel like we need hope in the world right now. So if you want to follow what's happening with this story, go to audreyschildren.com. And it's going to be a really exciting journey. And thank you so much to La Femme for having me. I'm so honored. I think it's so amazing to be supporting women and uplifting women and having amazing men like you who are supporting women too. So thank you.
You know what? There's a lot of amazing men out there that are just waiting behind the scenes to do the right thing. And I think Leslie is saying, yes. See, okay, so Leslie, look, let's make it happen. We got to make something happen for this lovely woman. And of course, her amazing subject, because this film needs to be made. We need to hear more of this. It's sad that I know about the Ronald McDonald's Charities, and I had no idea about this story. I know about the founder of McDonald's, which that's a whole other story. But this one needs to be told, needs to be made, and needs to wake people up, especially the dumb men out there. Can we make that happen?
Thank you. And I'm not a man hater, I have to say. Men are wonderful. Men are allies. And I just feel like
I'm talking about the dumb men. Don't do the disclaimer. Dumb men know who they are. They're called the douchebags of the world. I get it. It's okay.
They're not going to be watching this, though. So
you know what? They might. You know what I say to them? Get on the same page, okay? Let's bring the money. Let's make it happen. On your crowdfunding thing, we're going to follow you. Thank you for making it a great one right here on the La Femme Film Festival 2020.
Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you. We got with us Becca Hurd. Becca, this
Hi, Aaron.
film. Hi. I want to jump into this because The Other Side of 25 is a very interesting subject about the challenges that somebody has after becoming the surrogate mother for a sister's baby. This is not a usual topic, but I know of this by several personal family friends of mine. So can you talk about how this came across your table, or did you just think, oh, this is going to make a great film?
Yeah, I actually, this originated as a one-woman show that I wrote and performed around Australia and the US, and now I've adapted it into this short film. And it's not based on a true story. I don't know anyone who's personally gone through surrogacy, but I was just fascinated by the idea of a woman who doesn't want kids of her own, but then she kind of reluctantly falls into this surrogacy for her sister who does really want kids, but who's unable to have them.
Yeah, you know what, Becca, it's an important subject. You know, everybody's talking about pro-life, anti-life, whatever life you talk about. But when somebody gives in such a way to say, look, I'll be the surrogate, you keep the baby, that's got to be a difficult challenge. I could imagine that opens up more questions and more stories. Maybe is there an additional, because I know this is a short, but is there something going on here that we can, or does it kind of all climax in the end and there's nothing?
Well, you'll have to watch, but there is something that happens where Amory, the character who becomes the surrogate mother, she ends up having to give much more to the cause than she initially anticipated.
Well, and Becca, I think in the tagline it says an irresponsible young woman faces challenges after becoming. So I gotta ask, like, you know, did you have a family friend that kind of fits this mold, or did you write this like in such a way that, like, I wonder where the truth of, because every film has a certain amount of truth that you draw from, right?
Of course, yeah. I think it's a story about surrogacy, but it's also just a story about growing up and becoming a woman and finding out who you are. And I wrote the story when I was turning 25 and was having my own life crisis of 25 is kind of this arbitrary age where everyone expects you to have your, I don't know if I'm allowed to swear. I'll say
stuff
your
together, stuff together. It's
everyone
okay.
expects you to have your stuff together.
It's online, but you know, stuff.
And I certainly, when I turned 25, felt like I did not have my stuff together. And so this character certainly does not feel that way either. And it's just juxtaposing those feelings while also doing such a large life-altering favor for someone at the same time.
Yeah, it takes a special person. I know of a few that have done this and given of it, and it's never easy, especially when the birth actually takes place. But, you know, look, Becca, great job on this particular short. What's next for you?
I have written the short. I've adapted it into a feature-length script. So I'm hoping to turn that into a feature film within coming up if I'm able to find producers and people interested in it. And I'm actually currently living in Australia. I just moved to Australia.
Well, look, this is your moment to pitch it to the world really quick. What's it about, and why should people come to you and say, you know what, I'm going to help you make this? Because La Femme Film Festival is all about helping people get their stories told, get their stories out there into the world, and hopefully make some money in the process.
Yeah, thank you to La Femme, and thank you, Aaron. Yeah, so it's a story about two sisters. So if you are interested in learning more about supporting a story of two sisters and their journey through this very complex but also very hysterical, it's a dark comedy, journey through surrogacy and what that means for them as women, them as people, and them as sisters, definitely hit me up. I'd love to talk more about it.
There it is. Becca Hurd, everybody. Go follow her and go check it out at the La Femme Film Festival. 2020 is where it's at. See ya live. Our great partners over there. Thank you, Becca, for spending time with us here.
Thank you.
All right, joining me now are Cara and Jen. Look, you two are so happy over there, and I can see why. Road to 50 miles. First of all, I can run maybe 3 miles, but 50 miles, it'll take me a month. What's this about?
So Jen, you want to?
Yeah. Well, it's about two moms, which is us, who decide to train for and run a 50-mile ultra marathon.
Got it. Okay. Okay. So and why? Why?
Well, that's up to you. That you started this.
So I started this whole thing. I completed a full marathon. I went to a kid's birthday party, and quite simply, a man came up to me at the birthday party and he said, "What's next? What are you going to do next? Are you going to do a Tough Mudder? Are you going to do a Spartan race? Or are you going to run an ultra?" I said, "An ultra? What the heck's an ultra?" He says, "It's anything past 26.2 miles." And I said, okay. So I did some Googling and I said, I'm doing it.
I'd say no. I'm not. You two. I don't know how one got the other to be convinced. What was that conversation like? Hey, I think this is a great idea.
Kinda.
She's a running coach. So I kept thinking to myself, if I'm running this race, why aren't you? It was a lot of everyday pestering.
But she's a really good salesperson. Let's face it.
Well, okay. First of all, I got a lot of questions on this. How do you prepare for an ultra marathon? Do a documentary, figure that part out. Who holds the camera? Who does the running? Or do you swap off while you're running? Is there a steady cam involved? What is? You can tell I haven't looked at this, but I need to watch it.
Oh, you need to watch it. Well, the thing is we didn't set out to do a documentary, actually. This was all about her running a race, and she looped me in, and we started planning our training. And we're moms at the same school. Our kids go to school together.
Wow.
Then our friend Brandy, who's also another mom at the school, she's like, "I can't believe you guys are doing this. I have to document it." And she started like a schedule. We knew when we were going to start training, and she's like, "I'm showing up with cameras." But we kind of thought it was going to be like a casual, like a slideshow of us, running. But no, she used to be a producer, and
so
she went for it. She went for it.
She came into our homes. She interviewed us. She watched us. She asked us. Even after a days where we would run 10 miles, she would call us up and say, "Yeah, but you have to run another 5 because I need to film you."
So we left all the camera holding and the filming up to Brandy.
Okay, so it begs the question: is there going to be a part 2 to Road to 50 Miles?
Everybody wants to know that. Well, we are considering at least running the race we did again, because last time it was like pouring rain. Or maybe 100. Maybe 100.
You know what? I just look in spirit. I'm there with you, and that's about it. Okay, look. But I think you should have like one of those go cams so we can run with you. Like when you have because we're all at home trying to figure out can I beat these two? And I need to work out. So you know what? Let's do that the next time. Can you do that?
Check it out. It's inspiring. I think you'll be inspired to go run again.
Awesome. Look, speaking of inspiring, I know we're out of time, but last word, I'm going to let you have it. Why should people check out the La Femme Film Festival? Not only watch your great documentary, but so many others as well.
Inspiration for sure. I think our movie is nice and light, and she's the comedic relief over here. And but I know all the other films are going to be inspiring too. It's going to be a fun event.
And our film, like so many of the others, has been inspired by female empowerment, and I think this will definitely be a great fit.
We have a whole female cast and crew.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, Cara Wilson, Jennifer McMahon, thank you so much for spending time with us. Road to 50 Miles is where it's at. You can get your ticket right now. Go check it out at La Femme Film Festival. We're giving you the link right underneath the whole headline. So there you go. All right. We'll see you guys. Thank you very much, both of you, for spending time with us here. Okay. More after this. Stay tuned. All right, joining us now, Yelita, Ali, and Sophie Max on this fantastic The Whole Truth This is a short about a very serious subject. I got to ask, what was the well, let's talk about this first, and then I'll let you guys walk me through this, because it's a serious subject.
Yeah. So I wrote the film back at the end of 2018. And I think we've had a lot of really important conversations in the last few years around sexual assault and around sexual abuse of women and kind of gendered violence. But I think the one thing that was kind of still a taboo topic was child abuse. And that was not something that I really found to be present in any of those conversations. And I was thinking a lot about it, and I did a lot of research in terms of talking to therapists, talking to lawyers. I went and shadowed a lawyer who was trying a case of this nature. And that was kind of what inspired the film, was kind of looking at these real life stories and just really wanting to raise awareness and create a conversation around kind of that aspect of the conversation, and even more so about creating a story where it's about the aftermath. It's not about the kind of graphic event. That was something that me and Yelita were really was really important
about. It was really important that it didn't get dramatized or have kind of that Hollywood treatment and made it into something scandalous or pretty or even sexualized. It was really important to us that we created something that was going to inform people about it, but show the actual brutality of what that kind of thing can cause, especially for young women.
I feel as though there is a lot of misinformation out there about the topic. For the both of you, is there any misinformation that you feel is out there that you'd like to correct right here, right now?
I think what was really important for me, and what is kind of seen in a lot of media, is that this is the end of the road for women. This is the end of their life. And if you look at the statistics of how many women and even how many children go through this, there's no way that 1 in 3, 1 in 4 women in the country, in the world, are, it's the end of their life because of this. It's such a common occurrence, and I wanted to create a story where there is hope and where there is the possibility of healing and the possibility of through relating to each other's trauma, through relating to each other's experiences and having that empathy, that you can actually heal and see a road ahead.
But also ending silence, that you have to be silent about these things, because if it is 1 in 4, that's a really big number. And I think that a lot of people who've experienced this kind of thing might not have the courage or have an image that shows that they can heal from this, because most films depict this as something that's this unconquerable monster that is going to destroy you for the rest of your life, and that you can't reach out and find somebody who will reach back.
It's funny you say that. I've met a lot of people that have been silent about their own. Sometimes there's a process of being able to heal from within, called finding your inner child, centering, and there's been so many stories of people that I know of that have never come public about any of this, that I would think that number is actually higher than estimated. Those are just those that we kind of can guesstimate. Look. It's no truth to the rumor. I do a daily morning show here at ABC News Radio, and I talk often about pedophiles. I talk about people that abuse, rape, pillage, put people on drugs after the fact. There are some that can move forward, and then there's others that have this huge baggage of rocks. But I feel like your film really kind of lets them know it's okay to have that baggage of rocks if you've gone through it. There's no shame in it. Am I wrong?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think the important thing for me was these characters have different experiences. They have a similar experience, but they have different experiences, and they do different things as a result of it. And they're both equally strong, and they're both equally important, and their stories are equally weighted. Even though they've dealt with it in different ways, one of them has spoken out and one of them hasn't.
But they're both strong enough. There's still that parallel between them of the trauma, but both of them have dealt with it differently, but they're both still coming out the other side. That's important, like Sophie said.
Got it. Okay, it is right there. The whole truth is where it's at. And look, I appreciate you two for doing this. Thank you for spending time with us on La Femme Film Festival 2020. Can't wait to get the ticket to go watch that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, La Femme.
All right, more. Joining us right now is Jen Shaw. Afro is where it's at. It is a script, I understand. And look, I got questions about this, but I think you can answer it for me. There's a hot-headed, untrained bull rider who sets out to take over the male-dominating world of rodeo with somebody's help. Talk to me about this.
Oh, I think that's not Afro.
Oh, you're welcome. I you know what? It's been a long day. I'm running on Red Bulls. Did you see
it
this?
Happens. It happens.
I need another. Can somebody else bring me a can? I apologize. Afro is a bullied American African math savant who joins an underground network of people of color that seek cultural justice in their high school by any means necessary. Talk to me about this, Jen.
You got it. So Afro is a pilot that I developed after the short film Afro that's been circulating film festivals we have going. And it's really a project that is so relevant right now. And it talks about kids growing up, I think, in a more diverse society. But sometimes if you live in pockets of America that are more, that are more whiter and they're not used to diversity in gender and diversity in like background, you're in a pocket. And so I really developed like this script is how I grew up. I grew up in Kentucky and developed it into a journey of a young woman who's super smart at math, but social skills are not too great. And she ends up not only changing her hair as a political statement to an afro after an altercation, but getting recruited by an underground social justice group called Code Switch that takes her into a whole new way of looking at who she is and how she has to grow up. So it's fun, it's a comedy, and I'm really loving it.
Well, and Jen, you take a very serious subject and you make it into a comedy. It's always a great way to kind of what I call, it's not really preaching from the pulpit. It's just kind of getting people to wake up and go, what's wrong with our culture? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I've seen this in the news a couple of times, and I each and every time it makes me a little upset, mad, and angry. But we're kind of a country really mad and angry, if you know what I mean. Why should people go check this out and have a few laughs at the same time while discussing a very serious topic?
Yeah, because we all go through this. We all have to find ways in this world as we move through it, whether it be a woman or someone of a different background. However you move through this world, you're judged, and people assume certain things about you. And I think having a fun way to unpack all those microaggressions you might experience as someone as considered maybe like different is important. You got to laugh, or we just sit around and cry all day. I'm like, this world's crazy. So
I don't sit around and cry. I say, let's stand up and let's not throw the fists, but let's throw the words out so that people are, especially the younger generation. Do you feel that the younger generation is kind of like just trying to catch up, or that they're already well ahead of the rest of us?
Oh man, I can't say enough. I'm a millennial, and this younger generation is impressive. I think they're just growing up like around each other, and they're more accepting and open, and they're the most diverse I think we've ever had in America. So I think even around the world, I'm really proud to just see these kids come together. I mean, I feel like as a whole, as a country, we have a lot of work to do. No lie, but I'm really impressed, and I do think I'm optimistic about how future generations can start looking at people and being more open and just really being a better society as a whole.
Well, I want to say thank you for spending time with us. Jen, again, of Afro, which is a fantastic script needs to get forward on this. For those tuning in right now, what can you say to the scriptwriters out there that are wanting to get their script made?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, write your way. I'm a director, and I direct a lot for different networks and different commercials. And for me, really it was all about just writing what you know. So don't try to do anything too crazy. It's and then take things as step by step as you can, maybe not write a feature at first, write a short story and kind of expand from there. So baby steps, do it in your own time, and definitely write what you know and write what makes you passionate about it.
I like that. All right, go check it out. Afro, again, really cool stuff. Thank you, Jen.
Thank you.
Joining us right now is Katrina Gray and Randy Kalsi. Good day to you two. I understand. Look, the headline, Daytime Nightmare, I got questions that need to be answered. Maybe you can help me.
Okay.
Lucy's life spirals out of control when her own mind turns against her and her nightmare become her daymares. That just doesn't sound fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be a psychological thriller and not comedy. Yes, correct.
Okay. Look, Katrina, Randy, obviously you two got together on this with a host of other people. What made you want to do this particular project?
It's really kind of based on my real life, if I could say, and it follows my own real nightmares. I wanted to recreate in form of a movie, and it deals with the nightmare disorder and schizophrenia, so very psychological topics.
I know the discussion very well. My stepfather suffered from schizophrenia. Actually, I should say he still actually has bouts with it. Look, never an easy subject to tackle. What was that like bringing that into the film sector of the world? And especially when you're so raw about it, sometimes people have they just don't understand, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so basically that's exactly the reason why I wanted to make this movie, so people can see it from different point of view, because the story follows, it's seen from the point of view of Lucy. So that's why it's a daytime nightmare, because you can experience everything, all the nightmares coming into her life in the daytime as well, and it all blends in together, and you can experience it literally from her own point of view and feel it even more real, and maybe help. So, you know, maybe that way it can also help others to understand this topic and relate to it, or maybe someone can relate to it in any level and find something in it for themselves.
Well, Randy, I got a question for you because you're kind of silent over there, letting her take the whole interview from you. But before we go, I want to hear from you. This project, working with her, and on this project, you know, what were you able to bring that you felt you needed to be brought?
Yeah, so I took care of the full sound post-production and the score, sound effects and everything. And yeah, we worked closely together to make sure that, you know, the feel and everything was there, and that we could make the most out of the feeling for that. So yeah, it was.
Plus, he has the role in the movie as well.
Yeah,
so he's one of the actors as well.
Even better. Even better.
Yeah.
No, look, Katrina, Randy, I know we're running out of time, well beyond my time limit here, but I want to ask this really quick. Obviously, dealing with the subject that is so near and dear to your heart, what would you like for people to at least take away from this? I mean, it's a psychological thriller, so I don't know that people are going to be like, you know, like all understanding, but maybe is that in the next film that you're working on, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I'm hoping that people can find something for themselves in it and can relate to it. And yeah, so that's my genre thing. So horror, thriller, that's my genre, and my other projects as well are going to be in a very similar genre. So yes.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to it. Thank you, Randy, for allowing her to speak the whole time, if you know what I mean. Music is kind of important, Katrina. You need to, you know, give him a little bit, or maybe you need to lend us some of the audio. Is there going to be a soundtrack?
Yes, for sure. I mean, you know, it would not be nothing. The movie wouldn't come out the same way if it was not for Randy's music and original score. So that really helps.
Katrina, that message was meant for Randy. Stop taking his light seriously.
Yeah,
all right.
The soundtrack, yeah, for sure. It was all original score and original music, and even the end credits. There's this beautiful song, which was produced by me for a client of mine, which we licensed to the film. Yeah, so it's all original work.
All right. Well, I love that the both of you are so, you know, lighthearted, because, hey, in coronavirusville, we all got to be a little bit happier, right?
Yeah. For sure.
All right. Thank you both for lending your
Thank you
project
for
to the La
having
Femme Film Festival. Again, we will see it this coming week. It's a whole 4 days of fun. Come and check it out.
Amazing.
La Femme Film Festival. We'll be right back right after this. We've got with us somebody over there that has a really cool project, and it's one that I've got questions on because, well, they salivate, and I need to know, why do they salivate a lot? Heidi James, good morning. Hello.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I sure can.
Awesome.
Look, Heidi, actually, I apologize. I completely got you out of Dead Shot Girls. Let's start over. Okay.
I love it because actually you gave me branding now with Red Bull.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There it is. Here, let me do it again. No, I'm just kidding. Look, we've got with us Heidi James of Dead Shot Girls. It's a script, America's legendary cowgirls throughout history. I love cowgirls because there's a certain toughness there that you won't find with other women, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. And I'm getting a double. I'm hearing you twice. Is there any way to fix that?
No, just roll with it.
Okay. So yeah, so we have our main cowgirl in the present day. She's a hot-headed, untrained female bull rider. She's looking to take over the world of the male-dominated world of bull riding, but she's not alone. She has spirits, guardian spirits called the Dead Shot Girls, and that's a title that was given to women of the Wild West, women who could ride, rope, shoot. Oftentimes they were suffragettes. They were the first landowners in this country. They were definitely the first female athletes. And they come to her in mythical visitations and guide her through this male-dominated world of bull riding.
I love it. I used to watch, seriously, as a very young child, I would watch the clowns that would try to get the distraction. But oftentimes the one riding the bull was the one that was because they're all trying to save the one, right? So yeah. I got to ask, I mean, were the bulls animated in this feed? I haven't seen it. So I need to watch it is my point. Are these real bulls?
I'm actually a finalist for the screenplay for the pilot script of this series. So
you're gonna do the real thing is my question.
I see it in definitely having some animation. I'd like to steer away from using live bulls as much as possible. And there is incredible footage, real footage from the earliest days of bull riding with some of these women riding to draw on, as well as modern day bull riders. So there's stock footage to use. There's animation like they did in the Netflix documentary series about bull riding. I don't know if you saw it, called Fearless. It was amazing.
Not yet.
Yeah, but the main thing is that we get to exalt these women from the past and learn these stories that have just never been dramatized on screen before. That's the really exciting part of it.
Well, Heidi, you look, I've done the bull riding, like the bull thing that and I stayed on for at least a good 50 seconds. Mm-hmm. That was my and
wow.
It was, yeah, you're welcome. I know.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that's standard or if the guy was going easy on me. But look, at the end of the day, you are a fantastic filmmaker in your own right. And I feel you got many projects just waiting to be done in your head. Why is it so important to be part of a film festival, by women, for all?
Well, we're all kind of bull riders in a way, aren't we? We're fearless, we're courageous, we're jumping on that bull, we're getting trampled in the dirt. And what are we doing? We're getting right back on. And that's what we have to keep doing as artists, as creators. We have to keep believing, keep getting back on, no matter how injured and broken we are, and using those broken parts of us in our next creation to inform, to enlighten, and to evolve. That's my mission.
I love that you use that analogy. And I like to say nobody's ever broken. Your light just gets dimmed a little, but it's still there. We have to ignite it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And part of the theme of this is built around my main character's PTSD, because I did go through 9/11 living in Manhattan. And when I came back to the project after 10 years of struggling with PTSD, I incorporated it into the story. So the only time she feels peace and she feels stillness is on the back of a bull, is in the middle of the chaos. So there's a lot of layers in there, and I hope it gets a chance to be introduced to the world.
I think you should be like the next one on like astronauts, because I feel like these are like anybody that can ride a bull could be like,
Yes.
okay, let's take this space shuttle to Mars and beyond, right?
Absolutely. Bull riding on Mars.
Why not? Okay. Heidi James, again, Deadshot Girl. She wrote the script, has to be done. I can't wait to see the real bulls. I mean, you know what? Look, I'm not going to sign up for this. If there's a casting call, I'm not going to be a part of it. That's all I got to say. Again, I can't go over 50 seconds. All right, people, thank you very much. Again, thank you and congratulations on your great job there. We can't wait to see more from you, okay?
And you can check it out on the website, and it has all links to the Twitter, Instagram, and all that.
Even better. I'm going to follow you. I'm going to go stalk you now. Is that okay?
Thank you. I hope so.
There's a movie about it. You don't want stalkers, so I'll be a good stalker. All right. Heidi James, everybody. We'll be right back right after this.
Thank you.
Joining me right now is somebody with a very interesting title, one of which just making me salivate, but it's only because they salivate. Joining us right now is Ariane Bokerch.
Yes.
Ariane, look, interesting title, more interesting discussion. Why do they salivate?
Hi, have you seen the movie?
Not yet. There's like 150 plus. I'm still trying to get caught up on 3.
They salivate because it's a story of a kiss, of a last kiss, and this kiss is wrought and being poisoned and shared between the people, and the people will a lot salivate. So.
Okay. Well, look, obviously I got a question. Is this they say art follows real life, or is it real life that follows art? Is there any type of real life situation that made you say, you know what, I need to do this and put this into a project?
Yes, I had to make this film because I had a strong desire for someone I loved, and I can't tell it to him. So I had to expose it in some way. And it was like that. It was just with saliva. I can only say it with saliva, with pictures, not words. It was a gesture of desire.
Can I ask you what your first language is?
French. I'm French.
And in French, how is it pronounced?
Il salive.
Okay, see, that sounds prettier than it does to salivate. But look, because I'm salivating right now, but because I'm hungry, not because I want to kiss. My point is this, Ariane, obviously, look, you're being surrounded by women filmmakers, all in their own right, geniuses. I understand putting this project together is sometimes not an easy feat, especially when it's sometimes an upward battle. What I mean by that is just funding. Did you find that to be the case, or was it pretty easy?
To do that film, it was terrible. It was really, really hard because I had many fights against myself, because it was tough to do that thing. It was tough to ask for my actors, my team, to do what I wanted them to do, because I asked them to kiss them, to spit on them, to fight, and I don't want to ask them that, but I really need to do it. And I have no money.
Ariane, look, I can tell you right now, if you put me in the room and as long as they don't have coronavirus and we get tested, I'm not going to fight the whole salivating after kissing scene. I'm pretty sure that was the easy thing for the actors, or was it not?
Yes, but for me, it was hard to ask. Them, they were okay. They were really okay. But
of course. Yeah, it's a
maybe
thing.
This is why I've asked that. Maybe this is why I wanted to do that movie.
I think so. And you look, everybody can check it out. It is a short. Again, any ideas of making this into a feature? Because there's been a couple shorts that have premiered at the Femme Film Festival, which have been made into a feature.
Yes, I have a feature, of course, and about the same idea, but in longer. So,
Well, fantastic. For those that want to follow you in your great career, and if I don't know, they want to like apply for your next film. I don't know if there's going to be more kissing involved. Just saying.
Maybe, but this short has a tremendous career in USA and would be in Chicago Film Festival and AFI this month. So it's great.
All right.
It's
Thank you very
everywhere
much.
in US.
Thank you, Ariane. Thank you. And
I'm
to the
very
love
happy
letter
to
to
be
your
there.
to the guy, he better wake up. I'm just saying.
He doesn't know it.
Well, he better. What's his name? Really quick.
No.
Come on, initials.
No.
Initials. You know the guy's watching. He's like, oh, I think she's talking. Watch, you're gonna have like 20 men all of a sudden hitting you up. All right, Ariane. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey everyone! Welcome to La Femme. How are you all?
Hi.
They're doing great. Good. So let's talk about the Uncanny Valley. Who wants to go first?
Liz.
I do. Go, Liz.
I would call it a dark tale of female empowerment, where a woman who's been a doormat takes a pill that numbs her brain so she can stand up for herself.
I think we're having trouble with the audio.
Okay. Perhaps it's coming back on Carlos. I can put head.
Yeah, I think it's resonating through the room.
Yeah, it's reverbing, Liz.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go get headphones.
Carlos.
Yes.
I'm the actor in
Hey.
Yes. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay. So what was the question again?
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear
Okay.
you.
So tell us about the film.
Well, this is a movie about women who finds empowerment through a pill that takes away empathy in order to deal with a complicated husband. And that's, I would like basically to have Kimberly talk about it more because she did an amazing job leading the cast.
Mm-hmm.
So
now it seems like with this film, there's kind of a clash, and the men and the women both have that alpha personality. So what made you guys think of this?
Well, I came up with the idea when I was noticing that in our society today, we have really celebrated a lack of empathy, and there are a lot of people who have been very successful through cruelty, through blaming others, and sometimes I've felt that as a person raised female, I've been in a disadvantage because I've been raised to be a bit more nurturing or to understand how other people are feeling. But I think empathy is really important. So that's kind of how that scenario came to mind.
Right. So did you, with your main character, did you see that maybe you didn't want her to be so bitchy?
Well, maybe.
I mean, she lost her empathy, right, throughout the film. But did you kind of make her a little empathetic with the removal of empathy? Did you still keep her empathetic, like to continue with the storyline?
I want to hand that one over to Kimberly because Kimberly actually got to embody this woman and was such a big part of building the character. So I don't know, what would you say to that?
I mean, I would think so. Of course, always as the actor, I want to assume that I've remained empathetic the entire time. But I think, part of it, and in terms of her journey, is just that without the pills that kind of remove the empathy, she has to go back to being that really kind of sad, broken person, and to have to go back to that place is deeply troubling for her. So there is a bit where I think you want her to not have the empathy, because I think you enjoy seeing what's happening to her as she's getting all of her power back.
Yeah, so it seems like she's going through a battle, right? Of, hey, I want to be empathetic, but at the same time, I still want to be this dominating woman. So is there anywhere where we can find your screening right now, aside from the film festival?
Yeah, well, we've been in a few. So, you know, at this point, we're not widely available online, but of course, we're in La Femme. We just screened in a drive-in in Scream Fest. We'll be in Horror House soon. So there will be a number of screenings.
Perfect. And tell us where we can find you online.
We have a website for Into the Uncanny Valley Film, and all of our social media is on there.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you everybody for being with us, and we look forward to seeing your screening, okay?
Thanks so much.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye. Hello, Miriam.
Hey, Marta, what's up?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Where are you joining us from, Miriam?
LA.
So you're local here.
Yeah.
Still far away.
Yeah.
So Miriam, tell us about Estilo Americano.
Well, first of all, I want to say it's great to be back at La Femme. I was there with Green Card Warriors in 2014. And
Nice.
so it's
Welcome
awesome.
back.
Yeah, well, for Best Director, and Leslie was great. So it's really awesome that she chose our film again. So Estilo Americano, you know, I wanted to do something that's more political. We live in such a, you know, controversial, difficult time. And you know, as an artist, you want to use your voice to address things that are going on. I have a lot of Latino friends, and there's some really difficult conversations going on. Lots of families being divided by politics. And it's kind of like a hush-hush thing, you know, and I just want to bring it out in the open. So we put a great story together and a beautiful ensemble cast with really, you know, some of the top Latino actors around, and who share, obviously, this vision and wanting to be vocal about, you know, how divided, you know, people are in these current times. And also, you know, stereotypes and people being judged. I mean, a lot of my work goes about unseen people in society and stories that I feel need to be highlighted, you know. And I also wanted to do something about a middle-class Latino family that's not being represented in the media and entertainment, you know. We see the stereotypes, the day workers, the maids, and this is about educated people, which is the majority. Let's see them. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about those. Let's not just talk about the immigrants and the poorer Latinos. Let's talk about the middle class. So now, you know, most Hispanic families are very knit together. So how, in your film, how do they translate into this, you know, family with opposing views? Tell us more about that.
Well, you see that this is a very close family, right? And we all know we don't agree with everyone. I mean, I don't have any siblings, unfortunately, but
maybe fortunately.
Right? Maybe fortunately. But you see immediately, like, the chemistry between the peoples there. You believe that this is a family. And, you know, it's a Thanksgiving dinner, and slowly things escalate. And also there's a twist at the end of the story, which is something that nobody knew. And in a way, like, being open and sharing your vulnerabilities, you know, and this little secret brings everyone closer together. But, you know, a lot of Latino families are very close, but it doesn't mean you agree with it. And I have many friends that struggle with this, you know, like, okay, so we don't talk about this or whatever. Maybe I don't go over, maybe we don't all go together. But
but then again, it's a conversation that happens at many tables USA. So, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah. I feel like we see that a lot now, especially with our politics going on.
Yeah.
We see the clash in families and their thoughts and their views. So where can we see your screening and what day can we see it on La Femme?
It's on Saturday at La Femme, and then we're doing another screening with Los Cortes after the festival. Obviously, this is very important for us. And yeah, we were at Urban World 2 weeks ago in New York. So, you know, yeah, we're pushing this because it's like people got to vote. People got to look at each other, recognize each other, you know, and we got to make this society better. And we all got to come together regardless of our differences.
This is the time to come together. This
Exactly.
is such an important time.
Yeah.
So Miriam, where can we find you on social media?
estiloamericano.net. And then we have our Instagram is estiloamericano.film. And I'm the Dutchie doing all this stuff. So
perfect. Well, Miriam, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you, Leslie. Thanks the team,
and
thanks my filmmaking team and actors for telling this story.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Good luck.
So funny.
Hi, Emily.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. There you are, boy mom.
Doing the thing.
Oh my goodness. I love this trailer. It was hilarious.
Aww.
So I have a bunch of daughters. So watching this was absolutely hilarious and amazing. So tell us a little bit about your film.
Oh my goodness. Well, my mom had a bunch of daughters, which means I was raised with all girls. And so it was such a surprise for me to have boys. I can't even tell you. And so parenting boys, just parenting in general, all the challenges that have come up for me, but boys in particular. And, you know, I wanted to dig pretty deep in terms of, you know, a moment where it changed me as a mom to have these boys. And what a gift in the end it's been. I mean, in the end, he's cool, you know, but
and I love how you show the struggles of just being a parent, just period, right? Aside from being either a boy mom or a girl mom, just that struggle of like, gosh, I look tired today. I'm tired today. And then your mom, when you asked her that question where, hey mom, do you remember us spitting on your face? And she's like, no.
Yeah.
So what made you write a film about boys, being a boy mom?
Oh my goodness. Well, let's see. I had given up my my career as an actor as soon as I found out I was pregnant because I had booked the role of a lifetime as a mom. That's where I was with it. I was done. I was going to be a stay-at-home mom and just do that. And I would be totally fulfilled. They would fill every void that could possibly be inside of me. I had no idea. I had no idea what I was doing. Yeah. Go ahead, honey. You're not going to join me.
Hey.
And you know, I just remember telling my mom, just saying, Mom, like you made it seem like it was so fun all the time. You know, what the heck is this? And you know, she said, well, if I would have told you, then I'd never get grandchildren.
Oh my gosh.
How hard it was, then who knows, you know? But so yeah.
So now in the grand scheme of things, are you glad you're a boy mom?
Yes, I am. And I think my oldest son is watching. So hi, sweetie.
Hi.
No, it's been amazing. I mean, they teach me so much. Like I said, it's been such a gift. I learn from them every day. I learn about myself every day. Like I said, like this was not at all what I had you know, thought motherhood would be.
It was
soon I would have girls, you know?
Yes. And it was such a heartfelt trailer. It just immediately caught me, and it just just pinched my heart. I'm like, oh my God, this is so cute. I just loved it. Everything about it was just warm and exciting. And, you know, it just took me back to when I babysat my sister's kids, all boys. So I'm like your mom. I'm like, oh my God, what is this?
Yeah. So like, what do I do with you guys?
Exactly. Because I didn't know. I have all girls. So it's just, what do I do with you kids? So Emily, tell us about where we can find your screening. What day on La Femme?
Yes, it will be screening on Sunday afternoon. That's October 18th at 2 p.m. It'll be its virtual premiere, so it'd be fantastic to, you know, have people from all over come and see it. It's very exciting that they can just sit there in their own homes, wherever they are in the world, and watch. It's really exciting, and yeah, we've got big things ahead for Boy Mom as well. I've continued to dig really, really deep in terms of what it is, and we're mixing comedy with darkness.
It's an amazing project. Amazing project. It really is. So thank you so much, Emily. And we look forward to watching this.
I know. Thank you. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye, Emily.
Hi. Can you hear me? Oh, sorry.
There we go. How are you, Annie?
Yeah, I'm doing well, thank you.
Awesome. Where are you joining us from?
I'm currently in Taipei, my hometown, and yeah, it's really nice to meet you over live stream. Yeah.
I know. You can be anywhere in the world and we can all connect together.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to La Femme. Now tell us a little bit about your film Glitches.
Yeah, so Glitches follows the story about a young man who, at the darkest moment in his life, he finds an unexpected connection with a mysterious woman, and the transmitting kind of causes him to rethink his approach on life, you know, and ultimately connect him to the lonely and numb world that I think we let all reside inside of us somehow.
So I noticed that they kind of lived in the same building. Am I able to say that? Am I allowed to say that?
So the man meet this woman in an airport lounge when he was they are both waiting for their delayed flight, and they have this very intimate conversation which kind of both change their perspective on life.
Oh, perfect. And so what made you write this film?
Yeah, so I've always been just naturally drawn to stories about strangers, and I think as a society, we are experiencing a gap between the haves and the have-nots that is as divided and disconnected and as it's ever been in the world, you know, both metaphorically and literally, you know, because of COVID. And I think in regards to my film, the environment obviously is the modern world, and the two characters, they are just kind of both victims of modern life. And I think like in America, we are sold this idea of the American dream, you know, like the drive for great is built into the kind of fabric of who we are as a country. And well, I think, yeah, I just really hope the story can deliver the message to the audience. That would be the goal. Yeah.
Okay. And exactly what message do you want to deliver to the audience?
Yeah. So I think in the end, I kind of want to make a statement that we should help each other. You know, that we should help. We should learn to brave and embrace the unfamiliar, and that's the whole idea about the strangers. You know, you can just walk into an airport, you know, waiting for your delayed flight and meet a complete stranger who told you a very bizarre story about causing a fire, fatal fire. and yeah, and that that can kind of make you rethink, like in regards to my film, like both the characters have kind of the same, you know, busy life, and yeah, in a way they're like we're all connected, and we should just learn to help our neighbors. We should learn to help those at our gate. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Instead of judging each other, let's just come together and make it work. Absolutely. Yeah. So, Annie, where can we find your screening and what day on Femme?
I could look that up, I think, but yeah, it will be like a virtual screening, and it will have, I will do like a live Q&A, and I'm very excited for that. Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Annie. It was great having you, and good luck with the film.
Great talking to you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Annie.
Hello.
Hi, Marav. How are you?
Hi, Martha. Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Where are you joining us from?
Israel.
Wow, from the other side of the world. Welcome, welcome.
Correct.
Well,
Yes,
the good thing about doing this through virtually is that we can connect from anywhere in the world, right?
It's correct, and it's beautiful.
So, Merav, I want you to tell me about Code of Practice.
Okay, just a little correction. I'm not Merav. My name is Ron. I'm I'm the post-producer of Code of Practice.
Okay, hi, Ron. My apologies.
It's all right. It's okay. It's for technical reasons. Merav couldn't join us. Yes, so Code of Practice. It's a thriller directed and produced by Merav Urman. And it tells the story of a young therapist who goes to a youth boarding school to help there with therapy. And she finds out that the therapeutic team over there is involved in some kind of a dangerous cult. And so she herself is in danger.
Oh, wow. So are you able to tell us what type of cult?
Well, I'd like to leave some of that to the viewers, but basically it involves some dark faiths of the leaders in that.
Yeah, it sounds like it tackles a really heavy subject. Are you able to tell us a little bit about that?
Well, Merav herself was a therapist. Mm-hmm. And she thought that in reality, some of the methods were either old-fashioned or could use some change. And she thought this could be an interesting story to tell. And she went on writing it, and it developed into this film.
Right. Is there a certain message that you guys wanted to send out to the viewers?
Well, talking to Merav, she said when we discussed the film, she always said something about it was important for her to convey the message that always question your beliefs and patterns. Wherever you are in your life, it's always a good idea to question everything, basically.
Absolutely.
Not just the whole.
Absolutely. So, Oran, where can we find you on the film festival? What day for the screen?
Well, the film will screen on the 17th.
Okay.
And it will be 11 a.m. Pacific time. And I think it's 9 p.m. Israeli time.
Okay.
Interested. And,
will you be hosting any Q&As?
Yes, that same hour.
Same hour?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Just before the film.
Where can people find a little more information about the film, and then can find you on social media?
They can look up Merav Urman on Facebook. Is her name It appears right here. Yeah.
Yes, it does. Absolutely.
So that's the way you spell it, and you find her on Facebook. If I may add something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Merab reached me. She needed someone to finalize the film in the post production process, and I was amazed with the fact that she did everything by herself. It's her second film that she made. It's her first feature film. And
wow.
She produced and shot everything by herself, and it was really inspirational. So,
hardworking women.
Yes,
that's amazing. I love to see that. Well, thank you so much, Aron, and thank you so much for being a part of this film as well.
Thank you, Martha. Thank you very much.
Take care.
You too.
That's right. I'm here with Paulina Michaels, and Paulina, you are doing some pretty cool stuff over there. Paulina, obviously, I'm wanting to see if we can hear you. First of all, I think we need her mic unmuted or something. Stuff. Can't unmute your guests because they chose to mute themselves.
Very embarrassing. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Can you hear me now?
Oh no. Okay, we got something technologically trying to catch up. Let's hold on, Paulina. Maybe it's the internet trying to. You're joining us from what country?
I am joining you today from Argentina, all the way from Buenos Aires. Hola.
Okay, well, Buenos Aires needs to work on their internet. Okay, we're gonna let's see if we can reconnect you, and we'll be right back with more right here with Paulina Michaels. Let's see if we can get her connection a little bit better. It might need to log out and then log back in. Okay, Paulina.
Sure, of course.
Okay. We'll be right back with Paulina. But if you're just joining us right now, we have a place that you can go right here, right now. It is online, and it is to our big ticketing booth. Yes, we don't have a typical box office like everybody else. We have a better box office. That's right. It's the La Femme International Film Festival, and you can check it out. It is right there. Here's some of the movies that are available that you can go check out right here, right now. You can see each and every one of them, the synopsis here. A lot of them have what they call preview parties, which is just a better fancy term for saying it's like a virtual meetup all right there. You can get your tickets. It's cia.live. That's cya.live channel La Femme Home, okay? And you're going to see all the great stuff. You're going to see our great trailer right there, the all-access pass, the film pass, the panel pass, and single tickets. Something for everyone, quite literally. And it's definitely one that you should probably all really have some, I don't know, like a family-friendly viewing. Why not? And get everybody in there and have them all chip in. Why not? It's an all-access pass. I personally recommend that, especially because you have access to every single film and then some. Plus, the panels themselves. I mean, look at the deal you get. For $29.99, you get a panel pass. That gets you into just 6 panels. And for just an additional $20 more, you get access to all these great films, and you support a great organization known as the La Femme Film Festival. Again, this is the 16th year. Normally, we're very used to going and getting everybody, going to the Regal Cinema in LA. But this is the first time we get to see all of these films, no matter from what part of the world you're in. So we definitely love the fact that you guys are joining us and doing so in such a great way. Paulina, you're there with us.
Yes, I'm back on. How is my connection now?
I don't know.
It's better.
Buenos Aires, Argentina needs. I don't know what's going on. Okay, so
that is horrible.
I know you sound like Max Headroom right now. Maybe it's your headset. Maybe we just need to like take it off the headset, or maybe it's the data. I don't know. Yeah, we'll work on that. Sorry, guys. Again, this is technology at its finest. We love it, and then sometimes we love it as well. But I'll try to get Paulina there because Paulina and I go way back. She did the film festival, I think, about 2 years ago with our great panel, and we did it to where it was on the red carpet. Kid you not, 5 hours straight in heels. I would never do it. Paulina does it with a smile, by the way, right, Paulina?
It was amazing. How is my voice now? Much better? Oh my goodness.
Much better.
I'm sorry, not Buenos Aires. It's Apple.
It is wherever it needs to be. Okay, cool. Paulina, again, thank you. I'm so glad. I was like, no, we can't bump her because she's amazing. And obviously some filmmakers coming up around the corner. We got to take a quick break. Paulina, I'm going to hand the torch over to you. I'll be back at the end so we can sign off together. Okay, Paulina?
Of course. And our guest is here, I assume.
Yeah, so let's go to a break. Adam will take us to a break and then we'll come right back.
Hello.
Hi, Christiana. Am I pronouncing your name correctly? Because I do have sometimes an issue with names.
No, it's perfect. It's Cristiana.
Christiana,
I'm Italian.
with you and your movie, The Gods of Summer.
Yeah, exactly.
Tell us a little bit about it, because for those who don't know about it, what is the plot of the movie? It's a short film, right?
Yeah, it's a short. It's a thriller drama, and it's about a young girl during a summer vacation falling in love with a guy for the first time. It's like the first big love, and losing the love of her life at the same time. So, well, I can't spoil too much, but it's there is a mother, and there is a story of friendship and passion and all the ingredients of the thriller. But it's like an excuse to talk about also, I think, not just the losing of love, but also loneliness, and how our brain sometimes can face the reality and bending the reality. So it's a lot about our vision of the world, that sometimes is totally different from what reality is. This is I think, like what I want to tell more. It's like the deeper level. It's the reality that it's always different from what other people see.
Many layers in one layer of the movie.
Yeah.
So did I hear you right? There's a murder in this movie as well?
Yeah. And from the trailer, it's really evident. Yeah, there is a murder, and you have to. Yeah, you have. What?
What inspired this movie?
Sorry, I can't hear you.
What inspired this movie?
I wrote the story in my first book because I write short stories, and this is my first story ever. The inspiration of the story was, I think a summer vacation. It's totally invented, clearly, but it's a summer vacation between friends, because I think everyone experiences teenager and friendship and summer, and so this is a story about that. And the only side is like, you know, to give a thriller nuance to the story.
And where did you shoot this movie? I saw in the description it's
in
LA,
Venice.
really
Yeah, LA, Venice. Yeah, in Venice Beach, and I'm from Rome, so it's been a trip, but it was great. Now I'm currently in Rome.
Oh, you're currently in Rome. Oh my God, that's amazing. You can join us from there. And how did you cast? Did you cast them in Los Angeles, or how did you do that?
I did almost everything there. I just did some prep here a couple of months earlier, and then I spent a couple of months there casting and doing everything, and production and post-production too. Yeah, I did almost everything there.
That's amazing. And do you know which of the day of the festival this movie will be screening at?
We'll be screening during all the duration of the festival. I didn't plan the party because of the jet lag and time. It was a bit complicated, but it will be there all the time.
Was it difficult for you to include this whole big story? It's a drama and it's a thriller in 17 minutes, I think, right? If I'm correct, so it's 17
yeah,
minutes.
it's correct. And I think this is a really like a condensed movie. It's not the classic short that sometimes it's like a little episode of something, or like you can go deep in something really short. This is like a little movie in 17 minutes.
Well, we're very excited to watch it. And thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Hi, Maria. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you could unmute yourself. I made the same mistake. Perfect. Welcome.
Okay.
Welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
With your script.
Yeah.
Anything for my bestie.
Yeah.
When I read the name, I thought that it's a comedy, but then I read a description and I was completely wrong. So please tell us a little bit about it. What is it about?
Okay, so Anything for My Bestie is actually a feature screenplay. It's a thriller. It's a suspense thriller. And of course, it features women. It's about two middle-aged females who are best friends, obviously. And they sort of become estranged, a little bit distant after a few years. After one is divorced and single, no children. The other one is married with 5 children, where she suddenly gets jilted by her arrogant husband for the au pair. And so it brings the two best friends closer together because the single one is, very supportive of her and trying to get her children back from her because the husband also took the children with him. He was a very nasty, abusive man. So, he basically rakes his soon-to-be ex-wife through the coals and, through a nasty divorce battle. And meantime, her best friend is just sort of sitting back and painfully watching her just get berated and, really hurt and not knowing what to do. So with that said, she decides she's going to do her best friend a favor and secretively take revenge for her best friend.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so, she takes action on the revenge, and there's that starts like a whole series of twists and turns, and and things
May
like
I
that.
ask you if it's based on a true story? I really hope not, because I really hope not.
No, it's not based on a true story.
But what inspired you to write this? Because this is a very, I know, of course, we all heard of those scenarios in real life, unfortunately, but what was your inspiration behind it?
My inspiration actually is a very good friend of mine went through a nasty divorce battle. Not this kind of divorce battle that is in the script, but she did go through a nasty divorce battle, and we leaned on each other a lot. I gave her a lot of support. She had said to me one day, I just want to go slash his tires. And I said, yeah, you know, like I would love to do that. Because he just was.
Did you do that?
No, I didn't. But based on like thinking back, I said, for, you know, a concept, I'm thinking, what if I actually did that? What if the best friend actually went through with it? And so that created a flood of ideas and, you know, thoughts, and and there came the script.
What is your plan with the script? What are the next steps that you're taking right now to make it a reality, to make it happen, to create it?
Right now, I'm looking for a production company to take it on and make the film. I already made one of my own films called Offstage Elements, and I would love to make another film. But as far as like, I'm definitely looking for investors or production company to go ahead and take it on themselves and put their own creative magic into it. I would love to stay on the creative team as well, and, you know, continue to be part of the writing team.
Well, I'm wishing you all the luck in the world.
Thank you.
I'm sure it will happen. And thank you so much for joining us today, Maria.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
Hello, Christian.
Hello, how are you?
And Jeff. Hi, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. So excited to have you. What a beautiful name of the movie. I really loved it from the beginning. Can you please tell us about it? It's a documentary, and what is it about?
Sure, it's a documentary. It is the story of D-Day, but from the perspective of the French, told from the point of view of a female filmmaker. So we explore what happened at D-Day. 20,000 French civilians lost their lives, and yet somehow they have turned their grief into gratitude and have been celebrating our veterans for the past 75 years. And it's an incredible story that's never really been told.
That is incredible. And how did this story came about? Like, did you go to Normandy for the first time and you saw how they celebrate, or it just happened to be your family history?
I'm going to let Hunter tell that part of the story.
Yes.
Well, I served in the Army with the 101st Airborne, and I was selected to go to the Soldier of the Year for my battalion, which I ended up winning. And then you go to the next level of competition, which is Soldier of the Year for the brigade. That year in particular, they had an additional qualifying element, which was a combatives tournament, which I had never been sent to a combatives course. So I technically was disqualified from participating. As a consolation prize, they sent me to Normandy. And so I called my mother to let her know that that's where I was going. And I said, Mom, terrible news. I can't go to the Soldier of the Year for brigade. They're sending me to Normandy. And my mom says, we're going to Normandy? And I said, I don't think you heard me correctly. They're sending me to Normandy. And she says, we're going to Normandy? And then after that, I couldn't stop her. She showed up, and then the rest is history.
So as soon as we got there, I met a woman named Annie Patrice Boucherie. She was 5 on D-Day, and she remembers the GIs paratrooping into her town and coming off the beach and giving her gum and candy and chocolate. They set her town free, changed her life forever, and we wanted to tell her story, as well as she introduced me to other survivors of the occupation, the German occupation, and who remembered the Allied liberation. So we tell that story. We were fortunate enough to find an incredible composer who works in LA. His name is Jeff Kurtenacker. He's with us today. His score won a Best Original Score at the International Sound and Film Music Festival. It has brought this film to life, and I would love to have him tell about playing the organ in Normandy.
Of course, hear about it.
Yeah, there's a beautiful old church, and it was a wonderful opportunity to be able to, as they're shooting this movie, to be able to just noodle out some ideas and emotions on this old organ in this old church. And we weren't really sure, what shape the score would take at that point, but to be able to have that little recording session and actually have some of that audio used in the score was just awesome. It really ties it together.
Of course, you took the emotions of the movie and you put it into this music. And of course, it's so important to make sure that the score matches it.
Yeah.
I'm a musician myself, so I play piano and composed a little bit. And it's just makes the magic more revealing. And in terms of finding those people that wanted to share their stories, what was that process? How did you find them?
That's a great question. It all started with Flo Boucherie, who is Danny's daughter. Flo is my age, and yet she is so incredibly connected with people above her who were older in their 80s and people who were younger who are reenactors and involved in the celebration ceremonies in Normandy. And Flo then introduced us to all the mayors of the towns and the villages, the museums. And when I told the French people that I wanted to tell their story, not the American story, they just rolled out the red carpet and they let us use whatever we needed to tell the story. They all volunteered. All the fees were waived. The reenactors participated just for the joy of honoring the veterans. We had incredible access, but it was primarily because the French people wanted to honor our U.S. veterans.
And why do you think it's so important for this movie to be shown today?
This movie is a unifying story. It reminds America who we were when we were at our very best, when we laid down our lives for others who were oppressed. And I've shown this film, the rough cut of it, all over the United States, north, south, east, and west, in poor neighborhoods and wealthy ones. And everyone finds something that brings them together. And they have a conversation about true gratitude for our freedom and how to stay together and to help each other through the difficult times, and we come out stronger. The French then pass it down to next generations. Were you going to say that?
Oh, and I was going to say that as a service member, we've shown this film to veterans of all wars, and we find a very healing component to it as well, because every service member is an idealist at heart, really. We're serving and we're sacrificing, and we really hope that our actions are to promote good and to live up to, whether it's the Army values, if you're in the Army, or whether you're living up to America's values, and seeing the gratitude from the French just really, really speaks to the heart of a warrior.
It's a beautiful, beautiful message. And I really hope that many people will see this movie. Are you hosting a screening party? Do you know what day?
I do. We are hosting 3 screening parties, actually. The first one is on Friday night at 7 p.m. Central. We're in the Chicago area, so I only know our central times. 7 p.m. Central on Friday night, the 16th. We're doing one at 1 p.m. Central on Saturday, or 12 p.m. Central on Saturday, because we're including the French people in Normandy. Danny, Danny, the girl who wore freedom herself, is going to be in that screening room for question and answers. And then we have a party with the cast party on Sunday at 12 noon, so that the French people can join us if they want. So we're going to be trying to do a screening a day, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and we do hope that people will come and join us.
Absolutely. There are 3 chances to see the movie, so please join us. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah,
it was
great to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hi, Irina.
Hello.
Welcome to our film festival. So excited to have you here. You're here today with a feature film, Savior Angel. And I do know that it's based on a real story. If you could tell us a little bit about it, what is the story for someone that doesn't know what the movie is about?
Hello, I'm a film director of Savior Angel. I speak English very bad, so I have a translator, Anastasia. Okay?
А теперь Аня спрашивает про фильм и почему, что он...
Вот это.
Да.
I also speak Russian, so if you need any help, I can translate for you. Я говорю по-русски тоже.
Ну, отлично. Спасибо. Героиня нашего фильма – это реальная женщина.
So the main character in our film is a person from real life.
Она искала своего мужа, который был сослан в лагерь.
She was looking for her husband who was sent to the labor camp.
Она реально работала в суде, и в ее руки попало большое количество дел, которые были наполнены разрушенных судеб и несправедливости.
She worked in a court where she came across multiple cases full of the injustice and shattered destinies.
Поэтому Зинаида начала спасать людей.
That is why Zinaida started saving people.
Ну, простая женщина попыталась противостоять системе ГУЛАГ.
An ordinary woman found a way to break the system of Gulag camps.
О ней писали в 70-е годы прошлого века в газетах.
In the 70s, a couple of newspapers published her story.
Но вот мне кажется, что эта история достойна того, чтобы ее знал каждый человек.
However, I suppose that this story deserves to be known by every single one of us.
I totally agree. I grew up in Russia, but I've never heard of the story. So for me, even to be learning about it and to have an opportunity to learn is amazing. I wanted to ask you actually about the shooting process. I've heard that you had a chance to shoot in the actual setting of a Gulag camp.
По поводу процесса съемок, и что она знает, что вы могли снимать в реальном Гулаге.
Да, для нас это вообще, ну, было потрясающе, да. Мы не могли себе представить возможным, что в России сохранился один лагерь, который был построен в 1937 году.
And it was even impossible to imagine that there's still one labor camp from 1937 in Russia nowadays.
Он сохранился в первозданном виде.
It remained in its initial condition.
И этот объект очень многое привнес в нашу картину.
So this true existing filming location added a lot to our piece.
Ну, как мне кажется, что эта энергетика исходит прямо с экрана.
And I think that you can feel that energy right through the screen.
That is the story of a woman going against the system and trying to help as many people as possible. And why do you think it's so important to tell this story nowadays?
Почему ты считаешь, что это так важно рассказать сейчас?
Мне кажется, что этот фильм должно посмотреть как можно больше количество людей и во многих странах, потому что это тот период жизни, который непростой и страшный пережила моя родина, и об этом нужно знать.
I think that this film has to be shown in as many countries as possible for people to see it and to know about the extreme and tough period that my country faced and it's really needed to be known for how it was.
And when is the chance for everyone to see it? Are you hosting a screen party or it can be shown on demand?
А мы ничего не знаем.
We didn't hear anything about the screen party. So.
No worries. I'm sure we'll figure it out and we'll find a way to watch a movie. And how did you, the last question would be, how did you find your cast? Did you cast them? I assume everything was shot in Russia and you find your cast in Russia. Well, how was that?
Как проходил кастинг, как вы находили людей и как вы их выбирали?
Ну, главную героиню мы искали, у нас были достаточно продолжительные пробы, мы нашли замечательную актрису Светлану Иванову.
So the casting was really long and we were trying to find the perfect person for the main character, and we found an incredible actress, Svetlana Ivanova.
Мы с ней говорили недавно, и она очень рада, что наш фильм в Лос-Анджелесе. Она сожалеет, что она не может приехать сейчас туда.
So recently we talked with her, and she's really happy that we are here in the festival. So we are a part of it, and she's really upset she can't be there to feel this in person.
На главную роль мужскую был утвержден актер, который должен быть сниматься, но у него был параллельно другой проект.
So for the main character for the male, we already figured out and chose the actor, but he had another project going on as well.
И он попросил сделать ему парик, потому что он не захотел стричься, бриться наголо.
So he asked to make a wig for him, not to shave his head.
И мы нашли другого актера, потому что у нас реальный фильм, и мы не могли себе такого позволить.
So as it was a real movie, it is. We wanted everything to be real, so we had to pick another actor for the male part.
And were you able to show this movie in Russia? Did you manage to premiere it in Russia as well, or not yet?
Премьерный показ был в России или нет?
Нет, еще он только фестивальные показы.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Да, и поэтому...
I really hope that as many people as possible will see this movie. And to me, it's a huge pleasure to see Russian filmmakers participating in this film festival. It's really dear to my heart to see that. And this is a very, very important and tough story, and it should be told. And I am myself very excited to see it as well. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
So much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
That's right. It is the La Femme Film Festival. Paulina always doing her thing over there and doing it right. Look, I understand, Paulina, that last one was kind of a little bit more important to you, especially because your motherland. Can you talk about that?
Yes, I'm actually Russian, despite the fact that I'm in Argentina and I lived in LA and live in LA and act in LA.
Yes.
And to me, to be very honest, what impacted me more is just to hear the story that I've never heard before growing up there. So it's amazing that finally people are finding a way of telling those stories. And I'm so happy that La Femme is giving this opportunity with the filmmakers.
Yeah, this is one of the, the in the header, it's La Femme Film Festival, the International Film Festival. And I feel that this year we really do get to meet around the world, because as long as you have the internet in your particular country, and it's allowed in your particular country, except for, North Korea and China, you can watch and stream in so many different countries this particular film festival, which a lot of the films are on demand, video on demand. You can watch it anytime during the film festival. And of course, participate in some of the. Let's describe for those wondering really quick what a party is. It's not like the typical party, because I'm not gonna lie. The first time I heard that, I go, wait, there's a screening party in person. Who's doing the coronavirus checkup there? This is the virtual party which we're having, right, Paulina? Which is kind of cool, because you and I could party for virtual, right?
You can, tune in anytime and bring your snacks and do it from the comfort of your couch.
I'm going to do the Carlton. Hold on. All right. Look, Paulina, obviously, I think we got somebody waiting in the wings there, but we're waiting to get their video on. We've got somebody just kind of hiding out. I don't know why. Selke Kaufman, who actually I wanted to get on here. A Voice for Whales is the documentary. A Voice for Whales was created to tell the story of his fight to save humpback whales from extinction by educating the public. And I don't know if Selke is there with us. Maybe both you and I could do this interview together. What do you think, Paulina?
Yes, let's try it.
All right, Selke, good morning. Welcome to, I don't know why I keep saying morning. I'm so used to doing the morning show on ABC News Radio, KMT 1490 AM, which is why you have it here. Selke Kaufman, good morning. Hello. Welcome to the La Femme Film Festival virtual edition. Selke, whales. I love whales. Evidently, you do too.
I do. Thank you for having me. This is such an honor. I'm just so thrilled to be part of this festival this year. It's still kind of early here.
Inspired the story. It's a documentary.
Yes.
Why whales?
Why whales? So it's a story actually about my late husband, Greg Kaufman, who was he's a researcher back in the day, and he was a big pioneer in non-invasive whale research. He really fell in love with whales, and he started a nonprofit organization here in Maui that's its mission is to protect the oceans through science and advocacy and inspire environmental stewardship. So there's a lot of research, and then there's an education department and conservation department. So it's a what they call a social enterprise. So it is a for-profit company that sustains the nonprofit side. So it's kind of unique in its own way. But anyways, we became really close friends, and I got to know him, and eventually things happened. But unfortunately, he got ill and passed away in 2018, and I was determined to honor his legacy, and I needed to get busy doing something. So I decided to go through all these archives and all these, find people that knew him and put the story together. And so that's kind of how that ended up.
Selke, I want to say thank you, first of all, for opening up and being very open about, his life. If there was something that you can say people didn't know about him, but they should have, because you knew him more intimately than most of us. We saw, in essence, his ability to want to help whales, but at the very heart of it, why do you think that was so near and dear to him?
It's funny. It wasn't until do part of the filming, I had to go to Tonga, and I always, I've always been an animal activist since I was little, and I like all animals. I do like whales, but I never really understood why he liked whales and why whales. That was my question to him. So when I traveled to Tonga last year, I had a very intimate experience with the whales, and most than anything, the people there. And they, all those stories that I've heard, they all were true. They all came true. And I got to meet some really, really inspirational people. And I kind of had a glimpse of what it must have been like back then in those days, and what he saw and what he experienced through this culture and this beauty. And I realized then that that's where he fell in love with whales. And there's so many problems in the world, but I guess it's just a matter of picking something that you feel most passionate about and try to use your talents and resources to define your your strength in this planet to help hopefully make it better. That's all we can do.
Yeah, Pauline, I don't know if you've ever been whale watching, have you?
I always wanted to, but somehow I never had a chance.
Well, you guys are always welcome here in Maui. Just let me know when you're on island, and I'll make sure you see them.
The shots. Oh yes, we're there booking the flight.
So actually, we saw our first whale sighting yesterday. They spotted the first one. They start trickling down from Alaska during their migration, but it's January, February, and March are the peak seasons. It's the best time to come see them. So if you guys are out and about, let me know.
I think the ocean is probably the safest place to be during coronavirus, Phil. I'm just saying, just don't take the coronavirus into the other mammal world, if you know what I mean.
Correct.
And if someone wants to learn a little bit more about the movement and organization that has been started, where can they find more information about it?
So the website would be pacificwhale.org. The landing page will have the for-profit and the nonprofit, so you can learn about each one. But if you go to the nonprofit side and go to the About page, it'll describe all about our mission and everything that we do here in the community and in other parts of the world, including Ecuador, Australia, and we partner with a group in Chile, the blue whales.
Well, our friends at La Femme Film Festival all want to come, so I guess that invite you're gonna have to have a very big party in Maui very soon for all of us. Okay, we'll get coronavirus tested first.
We have enough capacity on our vessels, so for sure.
Done. It's a date. Okay. Well, thank you so very much for spending time with us. La Femme Film Festival is where it's at. 2020. Let's enjoy this great documentary. And before we let you go, Selkit, if there's one thing that you want people to take away from this particular film, what is it?
I want people to really feel, you don't have to be Greg Kaufman or any of Steve Jobs or these people that just have it in them that make, their impact. You could be anybody, and everybody has that power to make a difference. Everybody. And just a little bit everywhere will make a great big difference around the world. And you just have to believe in that. And, with everything going on, everything, sometimes it's just overwhelming. You have to remember that you have the power to change it. Whatever it is that you can find that you love.
Very powerful words. And I really
well said.
Well said. Live our lives like that. Thank you.
I'm going to get my party pass on. All right, you guys too as well. The link is attached to this video. Go check it out. Get your tickets now. It's all there. I'm Aaron Michael Sanchez. To my right there is Paulina.
Michaels.
Yeah, and to the right, we both got to point to our, over to Selkit. Right, there you go. Selkit.
Oh my goodness.
You got to go check out her documentary right there, okay? And thank you, Selkit, for sharing your loves, forever love with all of us.
Thank you so much, both of you. Thank you. It's an honor. I appreciate it.
All right, people. We'll see you later. We're still having, we're doing what? Join us for another 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock. We're going to have a whole new 2 hours. Paulina, myself, and Martha Casera, we're going to binge watch some things ahead of time. and then we'll catch right back up to you. So join us a little bit later. We'll be back.
Thank you.
That's right. It is the La Femme Film Festival 2020, and we're continuing our live virtual coverage here of all the amazing film people. That's right, all the people that make film possible. And if you haven't already, you should definitely go check it out right here, right now. I'm talking about the La Femme International Film Festival online experience extravaganza. Yes, supporting women and diversity for 16 years. Something that's been going on for quite some time. Look at all the great films, which, by the way, I'm just going to go right here. Life in Synchro. Look at this one. This one right here that I'm pointing to. Not sure if you can see that with the video moving right now. I can't wait to talk to this filmmaker. It's a documentary, and I can tell you right there. Look at that. Look at that. Synchronized skating. Have you seen it? Do you know about it? Oh, you're going to want to know about it. Yeah, that's coming up a little bit later as well. So super excited about that. And look at this little option. You can actually go ahead and just for $4.99, you can go ahead and check it out. But you can do that with all of these. Look at that. Look at that. $4.99, $4.99. Or you can, well, let's see what else we got. We got this. We got this. We got Matilda. That looks pretty cool. And if you just want to see the trailer, you just have to hover it like this. And you get to go, oh, okay, that's what they were talking about on the live interviewing. Oh, this one, I can't wait to see. Diving Deep, the life and times of Mike DeGray. We didn't get Mimi on this one, but I hope one day we can get her on. It's a very interesting conversation. But check this out. Couples therapy? Yes, please. I think during coronavirus, a lot of people could do coronavirus. We should call it coronavirus couples therapy, right? I don't know. Are you finding love during coronavirusville? I want to know about it, seriously. But as you can see, just so many. And you could go check it out right there. Or you could just click on the home feature here. Just type in sia.live channel La Femme home, or just click on the link that we're provided for you there, right there. Okay, so you can get a single ticket, see that? You could get all those. Or you can get a panel pass if you just want to like learn the business. You can do that as well. That's available. It gets you into 6 panels right there. And Film Pass, check this out. Film Pass only for $19.99. It gets you all of the films, all the screenings, plus the Q&A and all of that. That's pretty cool. And then, of course, All Access Pass for $49.99. How cool is that? So you can get all that and more all right there. Just buy. I would just go for this one. I mean, you get more bang for your buck anyway. And think about it. You're doing something for a lot of the people here that actually it just makes sense, right? Because you're providing a means of allowing us to do the same thing. We normally bring everybody into the Regal Cinema Theater, and then we put everybody up, huddle them together. They have parties and everything. But during coronavirus, you could feel a little isolated. So don't feel isolated anymore. We got we got the solution to the sad bug in the world, right? Because there's a sad bug going around, and we need to stop it, kill it, and eradicate it. But until then, let's enjoy a little bit of interesting documentaries and short films, including this one. I'm talking about Piece of Me. That's coming up around the corner. Obscure is another one. Obscure by Kunlin Wang. We're going to be joined by that around the corner as well. And let's see, we've got Couples Therapy. We're going to be talking to that with Michaela Zanu. Crash and Burn by Teresa Juntao. And let's see, here's one. Let's see, Anjali Nath, Privacy Please. So all that and more. We're going to take a quick little break. We'll be right back right after this. Check out the trailer, okay? This is a pretty cool trailer we're going to show you 2 trailers right here, right now, okay? Here it is. One of the whole film festival, normally when we're not in coronavirusville, right? Which if we can't eradicate it, we might be doing this for the next, who knows, year and a half, hopefully we're over this year, but I'm not throwing caution. I'm still just saying, okay, just saying. This might be the new norm for quite some time. But anyway, La Femme is where it's at. And check out the panel discussions. Here they are. Check it out.
In the beginning, all films were short.
It's not a charity. We're not here to help you. We're not here to help your cause. We're there to make our money make money.
It probably takes a year to 2 years to really start seeing money.
That title of executive producer on a feature is not the same as the title of executive producer on a television show.
because what you're seeing on television right now is history in terms of where decisions are being made today.
Don't give yourself a bad review before you start.
I'm sorry, I'm super awesome, and this is my pitch.
What are recommendations for packaging?
Getting to the right person at the right time, and you have the right piece of the package that they want to see.
And be able to adjust, because the plan will never execute exactly as you plan it.
If you set aside money for social media, for a publicist, for marketing, things like that, and really you don't have to sit behind those dollars, and you can have more control of your own release.
You can't go wrong. Like, but as for me, I knew that my episode was either going to be awesome or fine. Like, that's the risk you take.
That's right. So how cool is that? I'm just texting people. So I'm like, hey, you guys got to go to sia.live, because everybody's like, where do I find that information? Right? People are texting me right now. I'm like, there's a link. Just look for it. But some of them aren't seen on the Periscope app. So, but there's a link on our description on everywhere else, YouTube, Facebook. It's one of the few shows that actually were broadcasting to multiple different channels, which online is where it's at, right? I mean, if you're not online, I mean, seriously, what are you doing with your time, right? So we're on Facebook, we're streaming to YouTube Live, and we're streaming to Twitter's very own Periscope TV. So look, wherever you're finding us at, we appreciate you. Subscribe to that little box you have there. Who knows? You might find some other really good information as well. All right, so there's that. And then check this out. This is the festival, okay? This is the normal festival, and we usually have an award show. Really cool. It's done so, like, extravagant. Last year was just amazing. We did this whole multi-camera setup situation. It was just fantastic, and all the people got to get their awards. This year's a little, we're still going to make it special because, you know, every day is special. In fact, I understand we're adding a pretty cool little social media block this coming Thursday. Maybe. I don't know. Don't hold me to the fire right now. But maybe might be a way for all filmmakers to do a little networking. How cool is that? Because we used to have fun parties, but coronavirus. Okay, enough about that. More about this. Check this out. This is the La Femme Film Festival. This is a typical average year at the La Femme Film Festival. Watch. That's right. So there you go. That's an average day. It's usually a festival of 4 days, okay, and 4 nights, and just amazing fun each and every day. A lot of filmmakers usually come into the LA area to be able to experience it all. And then they get to partake of all the really cool panels, as we mentioned before. A lot of great stuff. But there you go. Okay, so joining me around the corner, I'm going to have a couples therapy joining me. We're going to take a quick break. Couples therapy. I got questions that need to be answered, especially during coronavirus. I think this was pre-coronavirus, but I think couples therapy is like appropriate for everybody, no matter how long you've been married and or short you've been married. I'm sure it's more needed than just divorce counseling, right? I'm just saying, couples therapy, it's a thing. Do you get couples therapy before you get divorced or after you get divorced or before you even get married? I don't know, but I do know this. We'll be right back right after this with Michaela. She's going to be joining us. Check it out. All right, I am joined right now with Michaela Zanu. Did I get it wrong? Zanu. I close enough. Michaela, where are you tuning in from?
I'm actually in Seattle. Okay, here we go. I'm actually New York based, but I'm visiting family. So right now I'm in Seattle.
Hey, you know what? I love Seattle. Never been there. Need to go. But couples therapy, I understand. Did this take place also in Seattle? And what's the divorce rate there, or
actually,
breakup rate, or is it none of the above?
So it takes place in New York, and it talks about Natalia, a successful couple therapist who treats neurotic New York couples while her own marriage is falling apart, and for the life of her, she can't follow her own advice and save her own marriage. So we see like a lot of couples and what they're dealing with, and at the same time it's this like juxtaposition of her giving great advice to her patients but then going ahead and making the same mistakes in her own life.
You know what? I shouldn't even talk, but I have found that the majority of people in the professional field are great at giving advice. They are fantastic. All their advice, if you just listen to it and absorb it and take it in, it works. But it's just harder. Like I know very tough Army people that have family members that are like, they don't respect them. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, totally. And it's like a friend of mine always says, you can't read the label if you're in the jar. So it's completely different when you're in the situation than when you're outside and watching. You can't be like sober when you're in the situation like that.
Yeah, I call it not getting outside of your bubble or your world. So sometimes, like, even doctors need help from other doctors. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes, and it's okay to accept that. But obviously, putting this project together, look, divorce rate is at an all-time high right now. I don't know if you heard, coronavirus is happening around the world, and people are getting mad, stressed, and upset. Is there do you think people can learn anything from watching this, or they're just going to feel more frustrated?
I mean, I don't think they're going to feel more frustrated. If anything, like I feel that when you see that other people have the same issues as you do, you're not alone in this, and they will be entertained and kind of like take things a little, lightly, and maybe they will be inspired to go to couples therapy themselves, because I feel that couples therapy works best as a preventative measure as for kind of like a reactionary measure to having issues. And a lot of people do it kind of like they don't really have any issues, but they want to kind of like be ahead of the game and, just cultivate that great communication methods. Because, when I was writing this, I talked to a lot of couple therapists, and they all told me if I could sum up couple therapy in 2 words, it would be bad communication. That it's not that they don't love each other or that there are, some huge issues. It's all about bad communication and not communicating properly.
Yeah, I've heard it said sometimes people do speak, but they hear something different. Does that make sense? Because sometimes you need almost that middle person to say, I mean, I know growing up, I remember hearing my dad and then my mom on complete opposite ends. I understood what they both were trying to say, but they were so much in their own mind, they didn't know what each other were saying. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it totally does. And like I could say something that for me means, take the trash out, but for you it could mean like you're not man enough, or you're like you're a bad husband, or just whatever. People just project their own things into things you say. And that's not always the case. Like it could be as simple as just please take the trash out, but people are have their own baggage and their own trauma, so they're just gonna project their own things. So it's good to kind of like get it out of the way and be like, hey, just when you say that, this triggers me, or blah blah blah, just to look into each other's like souls and like figure out how our minds work, just so that we can like
I'm glad you said that. You mentioned a keyword, souls, right? People oftentimes say, oh, you're my soulmate, I love you. And then when times get tough, all of a sudden, soulmate goes out the window and in comes like just, I don't know what you call it, but I think especially when there are kids involved. Now, can you tell me one of the stories that personally touched you that was in this or is in this particular project of yours?
Well, the main couple is dealing with infidelity, and that is definitely like a hard subject because, especially in America, I find I'm from Greece, I'm from Europe. So like, I feel like, especially in America, they feel that, cheating on someone is like the worst thing that could possibly happen. And like, if someone cheats on you, you should break the marriage. And whereas like, there are so many other vows that person kept, let's just, talk about it and what that means for the relationship, as opposed to what it looks like in the society, and can you come out of cheating? Can you come out of the other side with, you know, a strong foundation and a strong marriage, or is that something that caused irreparable damage to your marriage?
You and I could be talking for a whole hour on this subject. Seriously, I should have you on my morning show. Seriously, but look, for those that are wanting to watch this, I know I'm going to go ahead and check it out as well. Do you know which day it's premiering here? Because I know it's on demand, but do you have a
I know
special,
that
like, viewing?
I would really love people to come to the screening that I'm hosting at See Alive, which is at 3:30 Pacific time. 3:30 p.m. Pacific time or 6:30 p.m. Eastern time, where we'll watch it together, and then there will be a Q&A after. I'm not familiar with the schedule yet, so I don't know if they're just like releasing everything or if it's on specific date, but yeah.
So that's what we call. I think we're calling it the exclusive party, the chat room party. Okay, so we're calling it different things here, but I call or the live Q&A, right? So I think you're going to get a lot of couples coming to you and saying, "Can you help me out?" Because I think you probably know more now than you've ever have, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, a little too much, right? It gets a little exhausting at one point. It's like, can you guys just go get a room? Seriously, because then they get all lovey-dovey and I love you now, right? Anyway, that's the hope, right? That's the hope.
Yeah.
Okay, Michaela, thank you very much for spending time with us again at the La Femme Film Festival 2020. We'll check it out and get the tickets right here, right now. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. Bye.
Absolutely. Bye-bye. That's right. It is the morning. I know. So thank you. I almost went into the morning show because it's like over here. I think it's midnight where you're at, and it's like 7 o'clock at night. But I feel with that music, I feel like kind of like it's a morning show again, right, Paulina?
Time. Yes. Let's rock and roll. How is my sound?
Your sound is fantastic. Thank you. For those who don't know, Paulina Michaels is again here with us, and where she's at, it is literally the other side of the world. Oh, man, okay, almost, kind of, sort of, right?
The end of the world, as they call it. Well, if I was like in Patagonia or something, but yeah, I'm like down there in Argentina, where it's very late at night. So I'm trying to keep my eyes open and you know, keep this energy going.
I got a Red Bull for you. I can share it virtually. Yeah, there you go. All right.
Yay, cheers.
I know, and I'm trying to get off them, but they're so addicting. Okay, look, obviously a lot of films this year. I don't know about you, but obviously getting to speak with each and every filmmaker, even the last one, Couples Therapy, I feel like we're living in a test environment of couples right now. But you know, you've got a lot going on in your neck of the woods. Talk to me about your singing. What's going on there? Because a lot of people don't know you're not just an actress. You're not just a film producer. Wink, wink. In fact, you got your own film. I know we haven't added it to the slate of films, but we really should include it. Leslie Lepage, we got to do it. Can you talk about your film that you have out there?
Yes, actually, I finally released it on YouTube this year, like about a month ago. It's a short film with Eric Roberts.
Whoa. You didn't even submit it to the La Femme Film Festival, Paulina?
No, and today, the whole day, I was really regretting it. I don't know why I didn't. I don't know why I didn't.
Okay, I don't know. I'll make a call.
I wrote it as well, together with my co-writer.
And she, wait. Is this the one with one of my favorite? Like, okay, I'll let you introduce it because I don't know which one it is because you've done several. I was particularly thinking of the one with a supernatural person in it. You know which one I'm talking about?
Supernatural person in it.
He's only one of the main characters in that other.
That's a documentary. That's a little bit different.
I like that one though.
For
I want to see that one.
For Suicide.
Right, plug both. Just plug both. Again, she knows what she's talking about as a producer, filmmaker. So go for it.
Yeah. So the one that you're talking about the documentary for suicide prevention, I think. And that one is still in the post-production because I'm working on it together with the other co-producer.
Okay.
And she's still working on that side of things.
Well, we need that one done, okay? Like fast and furious, because there's a lot of people right now that this would be appropriate for. I hear suicide rates are up, and that's never a good thing.
No, and that is very sad because right now, I think with everything going on, it's very challenging to stay sane, even if you're not alone. Even if you're not alone, you're challenged with the whole restriction thing, and at the same time, you want to be responsible, of course, because.
Okay, so let's flash forward to the one that look, and La Femme Film Festival is saying shame on you. I think it's not on me. I think it might have been on me to not remind you, but you know what? It's okay. Let's talk about that really quick. What is the project? That maybe I don't know. Is it too late to submit her? Is that called? We can't pull a favor. Come on, we can pull a favor. No, we can't pull a favor. I don't know. It's I guess not possible.
An exception, please. No, I mean next year. I have a chance next year, hopefully. But it's a short film with Eric Roberts that I wrote together with my friend Cass, and we did a Kickstarter campaign to fund it.
What's Cass's last name?
She didn't go by the last name in terms of the stage name for producing. So
because I worked with the Kaz, so in a production. It was a music video though, so I didn't know. Kaz is a very
Nagieva. So it's Russian.
I don't know, maybe not. Okay, anyway, let me stop raiding in on your parade. So talk to me about this, because Eric Roberts is a pretty big name.
Yes, and we were super excited to get him on board, and it was really like the fate knocked on the door because we put it on Actors Access, and literally he reached out, which was really, I don't know, like a miracle to us. And I thought it was meant to be. The reason he reached out is because he liked the description, like the synopsis of the movie, and because it had to deal with a lot of psychological things and discovering why we are as we are today without judgment. So it was a long process. We've learned a lot. It was the best movie school that I ever went to, best film school that I could have ever been to. We made tons of mistakes, but that's how we learn. So I'm super excited, that it's finally out there in the world.
Well, Paulina, I think, look, you as well as anybody else watching, if you have a film or a project or a something, right, you should always think about the La Femme Film Festival. Oftentimes, I'm like you. I kind of I get so busy with things, and then sometimes I meet filmmakers, and I try to mention it, and I try to say, hey, you got to go get submitted, right? La Femme Film Festival. I'll be honest, I didn't know if La Femme was going to do one this year. And the fact that Sheila was like, I know her right now. She's gonna be like, what? Of course. Why would I not do one? That's Leslie Lepage. Leslie, we should get Leslie in on here, seriously, because Leslie is not just the person who started this whole thing, but she was joined by a bunch of other people that says, yeah, we need to do something for women. Like, we really need to do this. And then all of a sudden, they all kind of disappear and she's kind of stuck with the whole ball, but she runs with it. Do you find that to be the case often in Hollywood or just around the world with projects? Yeah, I want to help you until the real work comes down to it.
Well, should I be honest with you? Yes, it is something that happens all the time, unfortunately. And one of the things that I discovered really cool here in Argentina, because I started, trying to get more and more people in this world here just to see how acting and filmmaking is going here, I was surprised that people are actually following through with what they're saying. So I am having a moment of like, okay, I'm having a faith in humanity again. So why don't we, bring it back to LA and just really make it happen? I think it can be done.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay, well, we got to take a quick break. We got to regroup. There's something happening with the link, so we're going to send out the link one more time so that I think Kara is over there just waiting to be joined with us. So let's go ahead and get her the recent link. I don't know if it changed overnight, but we'll be right back with more. Again, Paulina Michaels, everybody, that's her. And yeah, she knows the world of filmmaking, not just in front of, but behind, and then musically. You should hear her sing. All right, Pauline, I'm not going to put you on the spot. No need to bust out a tune unless you want to. I'm just saying, but maybe we could hold it to the end. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. We'll be right back with more here of La Femme Film Festival 2020. All right, if you're just joining us, there we go. We got people tuning in here. Okay, so it seems that like our link ended up not working, but we appreciate you guys there. Okay, so let us regroup just real quick. We're going to take a quick little break. We got people just waiting in the room. If you're just joining us on our live broadcast, again, anything can and does happen. Right, Paulina?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back in just 2 and 2. I always wanted to do that. You remember that? Love Connection? 2 and 2? No? 2 and 2. What's up? All right, we'll be right back. That's right. We're here with Teresa Junetown, and look, we've got evidently an awesome person next to her. Teresa, I'm going to let you introduce.
December Fades is his artist name, and it was his song that we made the music video for.
Fantastic. Okay, so let's talk about this because December Fades, you know, it happens to be my favorite month. It's the month I was born in, but the actual name is Crash and Burn. What's going on with that? Why are we crashing? Why are we burning? Is it a good thing, bad thing?
It's good and bad. It started off good, and then, you know, excitement and the intensity and the passion, and then it all kind of crumbling.
I got it. Okay. Hey, you know what? No judgment. Paulina, you know something about the music world, right? But Teresa, I got to ask, if you were able to have a moment in the sun, would you lend your voice to his next track?
My voice to his next track. I would definitely lend it, but I don't think I have the talent that is required for his kind of quality. For like, I directed and edited and performed in it as an actress and a dancer, so I was not singing on the track. Let me help him out with the explanation of Crash and Burn. Crash and Burn, his song is very heavy and beautiful and demonstrates the emotion of what relationships go through, and it's unexpected vulnerability. And typically one person has power and another person could say seduced or is falling, but at the end there's a little twist and you can see where there's a transfer of power. So the one before that has fallen, whether it's lust or love, and you're confused by what it is, whoever has fallen ends up taking the power, and the person that had the power has fallen also. So the person that had the power and didn't think that they would fall for the person ends up losing theirs. And that's where, and we all know, that's what love is. And which one is it per person? And it you know, you have to gain the strength to realize what it is and to realize when to walk away.
I like it.
Beautifully said. What was the inspiration behind the song and behind the music video? Of course, the music video was the song, but what was the story behind the song?
Well, it was a short-lived, intense relationship that was up and down, and just going through it, and I couldn't, you know, I couldn't deal with the crashing, so I had to pick up my guitar and piano and you know, just feel it out, and it actually the lyric, it starts the song "Good Morning Marilyn," and that was actually the name of the girl.
Oh wow, she's one lucky girl that she gets to be in the song.
Yeah, we have to thank her.
But I woke up, you know, dreaming of it, and I woke up with the melody, "Good morning, Marilyn." So that kind of started it all off, because it was like I was holding on to, you know, hoping that it would work, but knowing that it was completely wrong for me, but just, you know, having that desire and need.
Which you kind of almost got to say thank you for allowing her name to be like forever immortalized as a Crash and Burn. I mean, does she know about it? Did she see the film or what? Did you send her a copy? Hey, thanks.
Hey, that would be a great thing, because we've won some awards. We have like 4 wins and a lot of other laurels and special mentions and honorable mentions and all of that. And it is we were basically strangers whenever we shot it. And Hollywood love story. We're dating now, and it's been 3
I kind of figured that.
I felt that too. I was like,
I didn't want to call it out there, but it's kind of obvious, And if it wasn't, I'd be like, hey, you know what? Thank the X for your next. You got it? All right, guys. Well, I want to say keep it up. Great job. Yes, people, we have filmmakers, we have short films, and we have music videos because let's face it, there's a lot of work to be done behind and in front of the scenes, right?
Yes.
And there's love to be had. I love this. Oh, we got couples therapy. We got people falling in love out of the exes. I love this. Let's keep this going. All right. We have more right after this. The La Femme Film Festival 2020. Go get your tickets. You can check it out and go check out their video as well. And then, talk about the ex and go for the next. You know what I mean? All right, people. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us.
All right, we got with us Anjali Nath. And Anjali, I understand your project is a short, which actually, if you got together with our last guest, it happens to deal with a little bit of a music video. Can you give me the synopsis on that?
Yeah, basically it's about an influencer who tries to make a music video to get back together with her ex, but just reveals increasingly personal information.
Got it. Okay. Well, Paulina, what do you think about that?
I was actually thinking about the name, and it says privacy, please, right? In the total opposite world of being an influencer. So I think sometimes those boundaries are just not existent anymore for people that are bloggers or influencers. What do you think as the creator of this film? Was that one of the thoughts behind it?
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely the thought behind the title. The reason I made the film is because here in LA, I have just seen so many people sort of pretend to be something that they're not, whether it's, in relation to their personal views or money or whatever it may be. So I was like, okay, how do I talk about this, but also make it funny? So privacy, please.
Yeah, I say to people that are in the public realm, be careful what gets out there. I don't know how many fake profiles I've seen of me. One on a dating site I don't even go on. And I was like, who would do that? But look, obviously you did this in somewhat in jest, right? But in reality, let's talk about the film itself. What was the process like for you, again, putting this whole project together?
Well, it started with my co-producer and the other actress in the short, Cassie, and I. We were in an acting class together. I was like, wow, this girl is incredibly talented. I want to make something with her. What's it going to be? So after a party one night, I met someone who basically inspired this short, wrote it in a fit, was up till like 4 or 5 a.m., couldn't sleep. And then out of that, we were sort of like, okay, well, it's just a scene. How can we grow that? And so that became I wrote the song. It's the first song I've ever written, recorded it, produced it, created the music video, and just formed the piece that way.
That's amazing. That's I think, natural flow of creative energy. That's really great. Is it just everything falls into one piece and it's happening? It's the best feeling for a filmmaker.
Yeah, speaking of which, we're joined by Cassie Clark, and I'm a Cassie. You want to add something to this?
What is the question about? Sorry, I just gone.
Yeah, no. So Cassie, are you part of this project as well, or?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm the co-producer, and I was the other actress in it.
Got it. Okay. All right. Thank you. I was like, wait, where did this? Okay. So Cassie, look, I understand again, this film with Anjali talking about it. Obviously, the question makes itself. Are you going to work together again? Is this a working relationship we could work forward on?
I would like to. What do you think?
I mean, I would like to as well. It depends on if, I guess if we find synergy on another project.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much kind of it is seeing if we want to work on something, if something like strikes both of us as really interesting again. Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, we talked about this recently, as far as like making something else between the two of us.
What was your favorite part about working on this project together?
Oh, my favorite part was set decking my room. It was a lot of fun for me because I just kind of got to destroy it with a bunch of like trash, and I had like a full rotisserie chicken and made it look really old and stuck it in my floor. That was fun.
Yeah, we trashed her room.
That sounds delicious, in so many bad ways. Okay, so look, a film festival by women for all. Why is it so important for you to be a part of this particular film festival, which is a little more different this year than past years during coronavirus?
Well, I mean, I would say that pretty much everybody on our production, probably save for our DP, was a woman. And, growing up, I truly thought my options were acting and singing. I didn't consider that directing or writing were things that I could do. So I love being surrounded by other like-minded women, if you will, and just sharing in that celebration that is, we can all participate and we can all do basically whatever we want to do. It's a new world, and especially being online, like this is crazy. The amount of access we're given.
Yeah, I love it. We got to let you guys go. We've got like other filmmakers waiting to get in. But for those that want to get a special access to your particular project, do you know which day they can look forward to?
Yeah, October 14th.
Awesome. There it is. Okay, people, thank you very much. Again, go get your tickets now, seriously, before they sell out. Do we have a capacity? I think we should, just saying. Okay, thank you very much, both of you, for spending time with us here at the La Femme Film Festival 2020 special edition.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Joining us right now is all the way from the other side of the world, I believe, Kara Harold. Kara, your project, 39.5. You know what? This is something I'm glad you're talking about. Joined by Sherry Page Fogelman, tuning in as well. 39.5. What's this about? Oh, we're having a bit of a difficult time hearing you on your mic.
Audio. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, go ahead, Sherry.
She's asking you if Alex is backstage. That's our cinematographer, and he.
Yes, he is.
We're bringing him on right now. There we go.
Great.
It's the party. All right. Alex, Kara, Sherry, look, you guys, 39.5. That's a very interesting number. Can you tell us why?
Kara, can you?
Go ahead, Kara.
I don't think her audio is working.
Oh, your microphone.
Okay,
Yeah.
somebody go.
Okay, so 39.5 is the age Kara's This is an autobiographical film that she does not play herself, but she wrote. And 39 and a half was the age at which, as a filmmaker, she decided that she wanted to start having children. So she encountered a lot of problems with that, relationship problems, problems with her artwork, and trying to continue to propel herself forward as a filmmaker and in the independent filmmaking world. And it's a comedy.
Well, you know what? 39 and a half is a number that I have recommended to a lot of people to be aware of. And I mean both people, because sometimes 39 and a half starts to reel around. Sometimes people are in relationships just to have a baby, and others are in relationships just because they don't know why. And I say it should never be just for the baby, but you know what? What do I know?
What do you know?
Kara, I think Kara is still muted. Are you still muted? Unmute yourself. On the
Oh,
stage.
yeah. Okay, now it's working. Okay. I'm a filmmaker. I can figure out technology. Yeah, so I missed the question, but 39 and a half is, are you in, the question was, are you in relationships just so you can have a baby?
Yeah, pretty much.
I think my problem is that I didn't stay in relationships so that I could have a baby. And so then when I was in 39 and a half, I was like, oh no, what happened? And so even though, so this is sort of that journey of just sort of waiting till the last minute to have a kid, because my life was so fabulous leading up to that point. And also I was doing other things besides like living sort of the traditional life. And I was making films, I was trying to be a professor, and so I just, you know, the biological clock moves a lot faster for women than it does for men. So
and let me clarify what I'm saying by that. Okay, what I mean by that is some men think that women have a lot of time, and some men are in relationships not really wanting a child. And I want to say move along, because sometimes a woman's like, I want to have a child with the right person. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, well, 39 and a half was kind of like, it's kind of a journey of realizing that you're 39 and a half and you can't wait for the right person. And so this woman decides to try to have a kid by herself by going to sperm banks, by asking her friends to be sperm donors, by going to the Midwest briefly because her mom tries to set her up with somebody in the traditional way. And so it's just that journey of just sort of like, well, if I can't make it happen in sort of the traditional way, then I'm just going to make it happen in non-traditional ways that technology and society has allowed for us has empowered us to just be able to have kids on our own if we want to.
Yeah, look, I'm glad you're bringing this up. Alex, I could tell, is rearing to speak over there. Alex, speak your mind.
Nothing. It was a great project. I love to work with Kara and Cherry. It was fantastic. I enjoyed every minute. It was smooth, and I loved it.
I don't understand the subtext of that. I think, Sherry, can you add in the information there?
It was beautiful. I enjoyed every second of that.
It was brilliant. It was a brilliant experience. Kara has historically been a documentary filmmaker, and she made a lot of really feminist films. I mean, I guess, Kara, there's other terminology for it, but just really femme-forward films, to put some alliteration on it. And this was her first taste in narrative film work. So this was her first experience directing actors. And as an actor, I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I really honestly, I much like Alex, loved every moment of it. It was this adventure that we were all going on together. And it was magical. And I love the finished product just as much as I loved the experience of it. So,
and Sherry you know, she plays the character in the film that's like, why do you want to have a kid? Like, why would you give up your everything that's you have going on for you to have a kid? And she was pregnant in real life. And we had to like mask her stomach. There's a lot of medium shots, and she kept getting bigger and bigger. And we're like, okay, how are we gonna?
I play the unsupported. I play Angela, the unsupportive best friend of the lead, and yeah, it was kind of hilarious because in real life, like Kara was saying, I was very pregnant.
That's smart editing, right? Smart editing. All right, guys, we've run out of time, unfortunately. For those that want to go check it out, do you know which day you are premiering with the little, is it after party, pre-party, or all party?
October 15th, 6 p.m. California time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Different times in the Midwest and elsewhere in the world, but yes.
Fantastic. Okay, well, I can't wait to watch this. Let's see. We've got people saying I'm single. I think somebody's signing up for the sperm bank donor program over there. You got to be careful though. They're letting people's information out, and now I know of one guy who donated his sperm and has like 180 kids out there. Imagine the child support on that one.
I know.
All right, let's make that the next feature. Okay, guys. Thanks for spending time with us. More right after this.
Okay.
All right, we are on our La Femme Film Festival virtual event. Paulina, look, I don't know about you, but I feel like I opened up my mouth and inserted a foot. Nobody lets me explain myself with the 39 and a half. I'm just saying, if you're in a relationship, you should make that well known to the other partner, and the partner needs to say, okay, let's pony up, because I hate it when men are in relationships and they kind of like make the woman their own, but they have no, like, they don't know that the woman wants to have a baby, you know?
Okay, but to be fair, a woman should let the man know too. Like,
that's true, but
so it's not a man's job. It's like two people's job to say hello to each other. And on top of that, mind changes. People change their mind all the time.
That's true. That's true. I'm just saying. Look, I'm all, I get it. People have the right to choose for whatever. And what I'm just saying is, it's helpful to have some help, if you know what I mean. If you're a single mom out there or single father, I'm just saying it's nice to have a couple. I'm not saying a woman can't do it herself. I've seen it. I know them. I love them. I'm just saying it's nice to have some help. I'm just saying.
It's very difficult, of course.
Yeah, very difficult. Okay, we're trying to get the next person on. I think next coming up with us is somebody who we're going to bring on right here, right now. Let's see. I think so. Yeah, let us go back to break. We'll bring on Catherine next here on with Cold Call. Check it out, but just hold on there. We'll be right back. All right, joining us right now is Catherine Cronin. Catherine, I understand your project is a short, and this is something that I actually know a lot about, and I'm assuming you now do too. Cold Call, what's it about?
It is about a father who gets a call. He's a businessman, and for the first time in his life, it's a call he can't negotiate his way out of. And it's actually based on a true story. He gets a call, and there's a woman on the other end of the line, and she's screaming and she's crying, and he assumes it's his daughter and that she's being held for ransom. We find out over the course of the film that it's actually a prank call. Well, not a prank call. It's someone who's, making a dive for some money. Someone who's hoping that this father is going to wire X number of dollars to free his daughter, but it's a total prank. And he figures it out over the course of the call. And it's based on the true story, and this actually happened to a lot of people that I know, which is unbelievable and awful. And a lot of people lost money because in that moment of terror, it's like, what do? You send the money, So
I actually know someone like that too, that it happened to. So yeah, it's pretty great.
I guess they call it a granny scam, but I guess it's happened quite a bit. Yeah.
Thankfully, I look, it never happened to me. I always like to play like devil's advocate and be like, so how do we know each other? But I know of others, including, I'm not going to throw his name under the bus, but she took it for a lot of money and she played it out forever. And she's from Mexico, and I can't even say much about that. But here's what I can say. Please tell me this wasn't a personal experience of yours.
My dad got a call like this. Which is awful. Yeah. And he was terrified. It's like in the moment, you don't really think clearly. You're just, all you can hear is like the extreme emotion on the other end of the line. But luckily in real life, my mom was there and she was like, what's going on? So she called me and I picked up and said, hey, what's up? And so my dad actually didn't end up transferring any money. But I have a friend whose grandparents got a call like this, and they did. They sent like $50,000. And of course, they never got it back, and the FBI can't do anything about it because it's, international call. And
yeah, I heard of a family who had saved up $15,000, and this was an in-person scam. And look, they're a dime a dozen. But let's talk about the filmmaking process, okay? Because this is actually done really well. Cold Call, obviously, is this your first film or your 100th film?
Second.
Wow. Well, it doesn't look like your first. Let's just put it that way.
Oh, I appreciate that. Does it look like my second?
More like your 20th. Let's say. So obviously you got more in you. What was the project like when you were trying to get this fast and furiously done? Because sometimes there's a deadline, right?
Yeah. It was intense. I mean, we shot it in Los Angeles on the streets with police escort and the whole 9 yards. So that was pretty intense, especially for a second-time director, because there were so many moving parts. Luckily, I had an absolutely phenomenal professional actor who, he showed up and knew what to do, which made everything so much easier for me from a technical standpoint because there was so much going on. And then, of course, with COVID, we had to do a lot of our post-production remotely. So I never actually got to sit in a room with the sound designer or anything like that. So that was that was tough too, and of course drug out the entire process. But it worked out. It worked out.
Well, I applaud you for making it work. First of all, that's no easy task. I mean, when you want to be in the same room when you have the sound design, right?
Yeah, at least for the final couple rounds, right?
Yeah, at least.
Yeah,
Trust
at
me.
least.
Yeah, I get it. Okay, well, look, we've run out of time, but for those that want to check out your particular project right there, A, don't get scammed, and B, are you going to do a Q&A for this, or?
Not this time. Not this time. But,
Maybe next time, huh?
Maybe next time. Maybe next time.
Because there's always next year. I'm just saying.
Oh, yes. Not going anywhere anytime soon.
All right, awesome. Catherine, everybody, go check it out. It is called Cold Call. Be careful of the cold. I got a cold text recently, and they were not happy with the advice I gave them because they had this whole like, he proposed to me, and but I said no, that was supposed to be for their cousin, and I says, you should rethink about saying no. If you say you love the guy, he's gonna walk on. But she got upset. Blah 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 blah. It's a thing, whatever. So, don't give advice to people that you just accidentally text you. Yeah, exactly. She might stalk me now and be like, "How dare you?" Okay, anyway, okay, we run out of time. Sorry. We'll be right back right after more.
Thank you.
Thank you. Joining us right now is Stephanie Blakey over there. Stephanie, I understand your project, The Butterfly Effect. Talk to us about this. What does this mean?
Sure, thank you. Yeah, so my short animated film, The Butterfly Affect, not to be confused with the Ashton Kutcher thriller of almost the same name. This was an animated short film that my team and I made as part of a Women in Animation initiative. They set up this project over the course of 1 year, and they kind of hired us into positions that maybe women might not necessarily have an easy time to get into. So I was lucky enough to be the director, and then we had women in the other 4 major roles of screenwriter, producer, art director, and animation director. Oh no, am I missing someone? Art animation
It's like the
director?
Oscars.
Anyway. Yeah,
Don't worry, they'll forgive you. They'll forgive you. They'll forgive you. Okay, look, let's jump into this because I had a conversation recently with another producer, and they were investing in a lot of films. And I says, look, if you should invest in anything, I think one of the easiest things to invest in, but sometimes the more labor intensive during coronavirus, is animation, because you could do so from different locations. So I think there needs to be more money in animation. So can you talk to me about that?
Bring it on. Absolutely. I'm lucky enough to still be working in animation now. And we're all working from home. It's all just kind of remote working, which is amazing. And that's kind of how we made the film anyway. We had a team of a couple dozen people just working all over the city. I'm up there in Vancouver right now. And it was quick. It was easy. It was, you didn't really have a water cooler to stand around, but that's fine. There were still other meetings. So yeah, if anyone wants to invest in animation, like, this is a prime time for it, for sure.
How did you get into this world? I'm always so curious. How do you get into this world of animation? How did it happen for you?
Sure thing. I mean, to be honest, when you're a kid, you watch cartoons. I just never stopped. So I mean, I've got like all my comics behind me. Like, it's always what I always wanted to be in animation, and I'm lucky enough that I was able to get into animation. I was drawing flip books in elementary school. Like, this is perfect. I'm so lucky that this is where I am.
Hold on, I'm going to go to widescreen mode. I want to see all the novels that you have behind you. That is a true. I love it already. Yeah, I want to see the whole. Wow, that is the collection I want to have, Stephanie.
Yeah. A lot of animation books, a lot of comics.
Stephanie, you and I need to be friends, okay? Seriously. Once coronavirus is over, I want to just come and just like sit there and read your library of books. But talk to me about this type of animation because there's so many different types out there. What drew you to this particular type?
Sure. So I'm mostly a 2D person, so kind of hand-drawn frame by frame or like digital puppets, maybe like that. And then it just worked for the timing that we had on this film. We just had 1 year, so it made more sense for us to do something simple with 2D animation. But it's actually kind of a hybrid style of 2D and 3D backgrounds that the art director put together. So it's really, really cool, really pretty, and I'm really satisfied with how it looked at the end.
Well, I can't wait to see this. The Butterfly Effect with an A, not an E. Get it right without Ashton Kutcher, but so much more. Again, Jessie didn't think she was any different from her friends until the change. Wonder what the change was.
I think
You'll have to find out.
Okay, but yeah.
You'll have to
Take a
find
look
out.
at the animation program. That's where you'll find us.
There it is. The Femme Film Festival takes on all different types of projects, including animated shorts. This is really awesome. So thank you again, Stephanie, for spending time with us. And congratulations putting this great project together. Can't wait to see what's next.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, more. Going from one animation to another is Sasha Bortnick. Hello, Sasha.
Hi. Hello, can you hear me?
Sasha, yes, I can hear you. I hope you can hear me. Yours is an animated short, and the film begins in the spring of 1944. And you can probably bring up the rest because I understand this is also a little bit of Auschwitz. We had another film about Auschwitz, but it wasn't animated.
Oh, yeah. I don't think many of them are animated. This is a documentary about my great uncle and his experience in the Holocaust as a 12-year-old boy.
Why did you?
There's more to it, but I don't know when this is gonna air, so I don't want to spoil it. So
my sound went off, so I'm rewinding. I was wondering, why did you decide to make it an animation film? Because it is a very, I assume it's a tough story to tell. So why animation?
a couple of reasons. I was very inspired by the Mouse comic books. I don't know if you're familiar with those. I've always loved those comic books and the way that they told those stories. But when I was interviewing my great uncle, he was such a vivid storyteller, and he really like painted a picture for me. And I also wanted to be able to really demonstrate how when he was going through this, because he was only 12 and a half years old and he's 88 right now. And I think it's very easy to forget how old someone is, how young someone is when they're that age. And when they're talking about something that happened when they were younger, I think we can sometimes assume that they're in their 20s or even a teenager, but he was really just a kid. And that was a really important part of the story for me. So to me, it was a kind of a way to time travel, and also it's kind of unusual. So I thought it would be good to do something, with a Holocaust documentary that we haven't necessarily seen before to get people's attention. And
Sasha, I'm glad you brought that up because, I mentioned earlier to the other filmmaker who did a documentary about Auschwitz, very sobering. And I said, the generation of today has been so far removed. There's this whole weird thing in the world, which is it's fake. It's not real. They made it up. And I'm like, did you not see okay, fine. We need to kind of bring this back to the minds, because I feel that in some countries we're going back to that type of mentality. It's sad, but can you speak on making this available to all and doing so in a way that even the youth of this generation can understand?
Yeah, it was really important to me to do exactly that, to make it engaging and appealing for all ages, and also just anybody. I as horrible as this may sound, or as crass as it may sound, I'm super educated on the Holocaust. My family is Holocaust survivors. I've seen so many Holocaust documentaries. I went to a Jewish high school. Like I've seen so much, and there's so much out there that's just straight interview footage, and it's really, really great that we have that. But I think after a certain point, you have to change the way you deliver the message to keep people engaged. And I wanted to do that because it's so important to keep telling this story and to make sure not to discount those stories at all or those interviews, but I think variety is very important. And I think having different ways of telling these stories is going to make it easier and more natural and for people to stay engaged and to be interested in the topic and hopefully continue to educate people. So, and children too. I think, younger people would be more interested in something that's,
well, and
animated.
Sometimes the discussion just needs to be had, right? For those that want to get, access to be able, maybe it's the whole package. Everybody would want that, but to check that out, it is entitled again.
It's called A Head Shorter.
All right, so there it is. Sasha, thank you for spending time with us. And thank you for
so much.
telling the story in such a way that I know your family members are probably very proud of. Did they see it already?
Many of them have seen it, yes.
What were their statements just before we let you go? Just what were some of their comments?
I think they're just so happy that I have it down. We're really lucky that he's my great uncle still alive, because my grandparents are not, and we didn't get all their stories down. So I feel very fortunate and grateful to have been able to do that.
Well, thank you for educating the rest of the world too, especially the younger generation. Thank you, Sasha.
Thank you so much.
Joining us right now is Alexis Rosinski. Alexis, you have a project, Nowhere to Go. This is a short where two delusioned young people connect on a level they've never experienced before. I think all young people like myself, I used to be disillusioned all the time. Is that normal?
Being a teenager? I would say so, yeah.
Yeah.
In this case, it really deals a lot with the issues of existentialism and figuring out, where are you going? What is the plan after this? It's basically the idea of being lost and finding your way.
I love that subject only because I feel like that every day as of late.
I was just about to say, do we ever find a way? What do you think?
I think that we find a way through connecting, and that's really what Nowhere to Go is about, in my opinion. It's about finding these connections through the people that you meet and the experiences in your life that make you who you are.
Yeah, Alexis, look, we're living in coronavirus time. So obviously that wasn't the crux of your particular subject. However, I feel as though this subject, let's talk about how these two young people connect in such a way that sometimes you need a fellow friend, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that the film is especially crucial for right now. It could not be more appropriate because it really deals with finding that bond in another person and having someone to lean on during these, insane times. And yeah, I love the fact that you brought up the coronavirus because I think that it does have a lot to do with that.
How did you come up with that story? Like, what was the inspiration behind it?
Oh, it's not my story. I had the pleasure of working with Sherry Sussman and Julie Pacino. Mm-hmm. Julie Pacino directed it, and Sherry Sussman wrote it. And I worked with Kyle Kaminsky, who is the male counterpart. And it was incredible working with them. Julie and Sherry both knew exactly what they wanted, and it's just a beautifully interesting story.
Alexis, I have a question. Obviously, I am just going to go out on a limb and say, I know you're not a teenager. However, you're a young budding filmmaker, right? And I would imagine you already have a lot of talent, and this isn't the last one I'm going to see of you, right? You got the bug, right?
Actually, I'm 17, so I guess I'm still a teenager.
Okay. You never know. Look, Alexis. Okay, so obviously you're able to kind of bring something that's a little fresher of a perspective than most. Can you talk to me about, doing film about a fellow teenager that might be different than, like, I don't know, like a person like myself that says, "Hey, I think this is a great story about teenagers," because it's a different time that we live in.
Yeah, it definitely is. So as a filmmaker, it's really amazing to observe the way that people are reacting to situations like right now. And I'm really drawing upon those ideas of isolation and loneliness in the way that I'm screenwriting and developing certain projects. Right now, I'm developing my first feature film called Nightly Isle. And that whole subject deals with fear of loneliness and the need for independence, and figuring out if that's really the goal here, or if it is more about finding someone and connecting with them.
Can I throw something out there just really quick into your sphere of influence there? I feel that we all come to this earth in order to help one another out. And for those that want to kind of do it alone, I have no problem with that, like being okay with being alone. But at a time like this, we need to have each other's back. And when like 5 other people have your back, even if just one of them has your back and the other 3 kind of turn their back on you during coronavirus, if you know what I mean, there's a lot of people facing that right now. And I think we need more content that reminds us that the human interaction shouldn't be apart, but instead should be closer together, because this is the war we're fighting on this earth. Unfortunately, we're trying to like get along, but we're just getting pushed farther away. And I just need a movie that kind of puts us all together so we all make sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I love contrasting those 2 elements of, that feeling like you have to be independent to prove yourself, as opposed to just connecting with people and bonding and creating a family and a community that you can feel safe and supported with, because I think that's where your strength really lies.
It does. All right. Carrie says, brilliant young woman. Alexis, we love you. And you know what, Alexis, you got our heart. So don't damage it. Okay.
I'll try not to.
Keep inspiring other people to care about one another. We got too much hate in this world. We need more. What are we going to call it? What should we call it, Paulina?
Love. We call it love, because this is
coming together.
The world. Love.
Yeah. So keep inspiring, okay, Alexis. You never know what youth you're also inspiring next in line. So, have a whole team that you could, mentor, okay?
Yeah, absolutely. And Nowhere to Go is premiering October 15th at 5 p.m. Pacific time. And there's going to be a Q&A following that with me, Sherry Sussman, Julie Pacino, Aaron Meinhardt, Kyle Kaminsky, and it's hosted by Lara Clear.
Fantastic. All right, Alexis. Thank you for lending your talent to the La Femme Film Festival. Don't make it your last, okay?
Oh, will not. Yeah, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Okay, more right after this. Joining us right now is Nora Mariana, her film Alina. Nora, this is a very important subject, and Nazis. Can we just get rid of them, or do we? Sorry, go ahead.
Yes, let's get rid of them. I'm down.
Seriously, I feel like the mentality's kind of been like reinvigorated as of late. But let's talk about your project here.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously a short, but a very impactful short. Let's talk about the synopsis of it.
Thank you. Yeah, it's about a girl gang in the Warsaw Ghetto who are trying to smuggle their friend's 3-month-old baby to safety before the Nazis take her to a concentration camp.
Got it. Okay, so go ahead, Paulina. I know you got a question.
Real life story? Is it based on a true story that is, because I feel like there's something, it's close to your heart, right? So if you could tell us something more about that.
Sure. It's a composite of many stories. Unfortunately, this was a big issue in the Warsaw Ghetto. A lot of children and babies even were taken from their parents. And there were a lot of heroic women, Jewish and Catholic, who came together to do the best they could to save the kids from the Nazis. So it was inspired by those heroic women. Yeah.
Look, Alina, again, it's premiering this week. You could get your tickets right there on demand and or watch it. Is there going to be a Q&A that we need to be aware of as well?
Not that I'm aware of. No.
Okay, we need to create one because I got questions. Okay, so let me ask you this question then. Obviously, it deals with a very important subject, and in some ways, I hate to draw a parallel to today's world, but can you speak to me why this is timely even now, even though it was, it was a while back, but like I said, still very prevalent, this idea of superiority over another race.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're in a time where there's a rise in white supremacy and anti-Semitism and racism. So it's sadly becoming increasingly timely in this climate. I wish it wasn't the case. I always say, like, I wish this was a story that had no relevance to the world we live in, but sadly, it has extreme relevance. Yeah.
Yeah, Nora, look, I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for bringing this awareness back. Again, I think we have a running theme this year. We have a lot more like Auschwitz and Nazi, and it's very interesting. Sometimes it's a telling tale of what's in the hemisphere of the galaxy, right? Our universe. Sometimes these stories need to be told a little bit more at a time where we need more positivity and less just fear mongering. Does that make sense?
Definitely. No, I agree.
Yeah. And I'm sure we can all find inspiration in the actions of those brave women and maybe add that to our life.
Exactly. Yeah. What we particularly loved about researching these women was that, they really were regular people, teachers, social workers, grandmas, and they were able to save thousands of kids collectively. So it's very inspiring that like regular people can really make the impossible happen, even in really dark moments like that. So
yeah, I say congratulations on this short. Is there a feature around the corner?
We hope so. Yeah, we'd love to do a feature. There's a lot more to that story that we'd like to tell.
Like what?
We have to see the feature, right?
I don't know. I think if there's a budding investor there, they need to hear a little bit more on what the next one's going to be about. At least a little teaser.
Well, I would say that, the short film really only provides a glimpse into these women's lives. You really just see a portion of one mission with one baby. And we would definitely want to expand and really show how that network of women operated as a collective unit.
Got it. Okay. And just out of curiosity, if you had like some actors like by choice that, because there's a lot of people looking for work right now, I'm just saying, who would you have starring in this?
Oh, that's a really good question. Somebody who has a connection to the material, honestly. My dream would be like a Natalie Portman, like if it was like but honestly, anybody who has a connection to the material and is a good actor. That's good enough for me.
Done. Let's make it happen. That, you know, look, La Femme Film Festival starts dreams and like finishes them right here. I'm just saying, Leslie Lapage knows how to make dreams come true. Okay. There's also a big panel fest that I know a lot of people could learn a lot of stuff from. I don't know. Is this your first La Femme?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Learn from those that have gone ahead of you and learn to accept what I call inspiration from those that are doing the fine fight. You get where I'm going with that?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. All right, Nora, thank you very much for spending time with us here on the La Femme Film Festival Virtual Edition 2020. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Hi, Emma.
Hi,
how are
you?
Welcome to La Femme. How are you doing?
Very well. Thank you very much.
Great. Well, it's a pleasure having you. Now, please tell us about Two Worlds, Not One.
Well, Two Worlds, Not One is really about what a lot of people see and feel all the time, but don't make real from a very young age. And then as we get older, we've sort of closed down that sense that we've had of other things that we might see or feel in our days, and it can be an everyday situation. And so we have this character called Toby who starts to see and feel these things again, and it's his experience with what he sees and how he feels and how he really deals with that.
So do you think that happens maybe as he's growing?
Yeah, it's sort of an interesting thing because he has a very, you could say, average, everyday kind of lifestyle. There's nothing outlandish in what he does with work, his family, and yet he starts to notice these things, and it's almost like igniting those feelings from when he was much younger. So and then it's Two Worlds Not One is the first of a trilogy of 3 short films, and so as the short films go through it sort of tells a bit more of his story and explains a little bit more. So this first one is initially setting up basically that he does start to see these things, and the audience starts to go, well, what is that? Is that real or not real? And I'm sure that there's a lot of people that do have a similar kind of thing, that they might see something or feel something and not sure if it's actually something that's real or not.
Yeah, it seems like COVID kind of makes us feel that way right now too, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, are you going to have a screening with Q&As?
Yeah, so there's a screening with Q&As this Thursday night at 8 p.m.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you, Emma. And anything else that you want to add about the movie?
No, I mean, I'm looking forward to hearing what people feel and their response to the film in general. So that's why it'd be great to do the Q&A and get a sense of where everyone is, because it's only just recently been released, so it's very early stages.
Perfect. Well, we look forward to seeing you. Thank
Beautiful.
you so much, Emma.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye. Nice. Hi, Jane.
Hi, Martha. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good.
Hanging in there, right?
Yeah.
So please tell me about your documentary. I'm really glad that you're bringing light to a very important issue right now. So
yeah,
tell us about
Countdown to Year Zero is about the fact that animal agriculture, in other words, the consumption of meat and the breast milk of cows, is destroying our planet. It is the leading cause of climate change, and it is the leading cause of deforestation. The Amazon's on fire, the Pantanal in Brazil as well, the world's largest wetlands, on fire to create cattle grazing land and to grow crops to feed farm animals. It's the leading cause of world hunger. It's the leading cause of wildlife extinction. It's the leading cause of human disease. Processed meat is cancer causing, and heart disease kills 1 out of every 4 people prior to COVID. And COVID is a zoonotic disease, jumped from animals to humans, and was first spotted in a slaughter market in China. And SARS was first spotted in a slaughter market in China too, in a different province. So for all these reasons and many more, obviously animal cruelty, we have to move away from animal agriculture. So Countdown to Year Zero basically says we have to transition to a plant-based world by 2026, or there will be no wildlife vertebrates left, with the exception of maybe squirrels and rats. But we're decimating all the wildlife to either grow crops to feed farm animals or to create grazing land for cattle. And in fact, if you want to look at just the obvious facts, we're 7.8 billion human beings currently, okay? We forcibly impregnate. Ladies, that's called rape. There's no making love on these factory farms. We forcibly impregnate, rape 70 billion animals into existence every year that are slaughtered. Cows, pigs, chickens, turkeys, goats, and lambs. That does not include fish. If you include fish, it's in the trillions. So we are essentially all serial killers. Those of us who eat animals will eat at least 10,000 animals in the course of our life. So, you know, you've been talking about the Holocaust, and I know that obviously people are very sensitive about that phrase. And I loved hearing the other filmmakers talk about that horror. This is a horror of a different nature. This is a mass, mind-boggling killing of animals at a time when alternatives have been created that taste just like meat, that taste just like dairy. So essentially unnecessary. And the last thing I'll say is we profile the work of Dr. Sailesh Rao, who's a Stanford PhD engineer systems analyst, who has created a plan to create a vegan world by 2026. And he says, we know why we have to do it. We just need to know how we have to do it. And so he's gathering teams of people together, and we document all this in the film to answer the questions that need to be answered in order to create a blueprint for a plant-based world. And if the word vegan scares you, or you've been subject to the demonization of that world, you can call it a word, you can call it plant-based, you can call it whatever you want to call it. We're just trying to convince people that it's not in their self-interest to eat animals. And by the way, 99.9% of the people who eat animals would not be able to kill them themselves. In fact, there's a whole new advertising campaign in Israel right now where people say, I want fresh meat, and they bring out a lamb and everybody freaks out. Yes. And so it's real moral cowardice to say, well, you know, ahimsa, yoga, I'm a loving person, but here, I'm going to hire this poor immigrant who has no choice about what job he or she can have. And they're going to go in there. Not only are they going to kill animals and get PTSD, psychological problems, addiction, alcoholism, depression, carpal tunnel syndrome, and a whole bunch of other terrible things, but now they're getting COVID. They're dying of COVID. Slaughterhouses are hotbeds of COVID. So when you eat an animal or the breast milk of another species, you are potentially co-signing the death of a human being. You always were, because the food kills in so many ways. It kills children who are hungry because animals are eating most of the food.
Now, Jane, where can we find your screening? What day can we find it? Are you going to be doing any screenings?
I wish I knew. it is available on Amazon Prime if you want to see it there. I would love to have it screened. I hope it's screened. I don't have the exact date and time.
Okay.
But
well, thank you so much.
I have to tell you, for those who are maybe whoever's watching, it's the most important issue of our time, because if we hit 2026 and we haven't transitioned and all the wildlife is wiped out, which it's really on track to do it, we're going to have an ecological apocalypse. Yes. All these other issues, really, if planet Earth is uninhabitable because it's too hot,
we're done.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Jane. And I appreciate this because I think it's very, very important. And it's an issue that we need to focus on and start making changes immediately, yesterday. Yes. So thank you so much. Yes.
Fabulous.
Thank you so much, Jane. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.